A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Well, Jane is enchanted by the new next-door neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Frederick, especially Mrs. Frederick, who is the type of woman who takes the credit for her husband's business success. And by constant driving, she has managed to work Mr. Frederick up from a mere typesetter to a big printing business proprietor. This episode is in alternating scenes between the Ace's bungalow and Mr. Ace's real estate office. But first to the bungalow. It's early afternoon. Jane is speaking to Mrs. Frederick.
You mean you go down to your husband's office every day?
Oh, no, not every day. I make it a point to drop in at least twice a week, though. I was there Monday, and I'm on my way down now. The days I don't go, I make it a point to call him at least twice a day. And when he has important deals pending, I sometimes call up as many as 5 times a day. How often do you visit your husband's office?
Oh, now and there. If I happen to be downtown shopping, I sometimes drop in just to kill the time away.
How often is that?
Oh, I don't know, not very often. He doesn't like to have me clattering up his office. He always says a woman's place is in the home.
Yes, I suspected as much. And you let him get away with it?
Yes.
Jane, you astound me.
All right.
My dear, I haven't much time now, but we must get together for a nice, long, heart-to-heart talk. You simply must realize that you have as much right to his business problems as he has to your household problems. You'll find that in back of every man's success, there's always a woman.
Oh, not my husband. He doesn't look at another woman.
No, I don't mean another woman. I mean you. You are the woman, my dear. We'll take Baxter, for instance. When I first met him, he was a typesetter in a newspaper office. He started with nothing.
Well, Mr. H is a real estate man who started with a lot.
You mean he was wealthy at one time?
Oh, no, he just had one lot. Now he has a big business.
But it could be bigger.
Oh, I guess it could.
Of course it could. And that's where you come in.
Where?
Well, by helping him, the way I've helped my husband. Baxter doesn't do a thing without my knowledge or consent, without first talking over his problems with me. Why, many's the time I've dropped in at his office and what seems like an accidental visit, and there I've met and conquered a stubborn client. Simply smile in the right place, an invitation to dinner or a cocktail. You've no idea how important those touches can be. The woman's touch especially. You can do that, can't you?
Well, I can smile. I don't drink.
Oh, I don't either. Just a sip. It's not the drink. It's the atmosphere of friendship it builds up. It breaks down the cold business resistance. Baxter will tell you himself that I've solved many a problem for him.
Well, I don't know if my husband has any problems.
They all have problems. And they all need help. They're all alike. Why, what would you say if I told you that I even pick out Baxter's business suit, his ties, his shirts?
I'd say you do.
Of course I do. Clothes play just as important a part in a man's business as they do in a woman's social. First impressions are very important. Baxter never looks his best in brown. I see to it that he doesn't wear tan suits, tan shoes, at least not to his office.
Well, my husband only wears blue suits in the winter and gray suits in the summer and vice versa. I never thought very much about his clothes.
Well, you can see how important it is, can't you?
Well, yes, the way you tell us.
Of course it's important. Oh, I've got hours of talk for you, I can see that. But I really must be running now. Well, goodbye, my dear. Think over what I told you, won't you?
Yes, I will. It's very interesting the way you tell us.
Oh, there's Roy with the car now. Goodbye, Jane.
Goodbye, Ethel. Have a nice time. I don't know about that. Laura, come here. I want to talk to you. Did you call me? Yes, Laura. Here's what I want you to do. Get out all of Miss Grace's suits out of his closet and bring them in here. All 3 of them? Yes, all of them. So, is something wrong? Well, there may be with his suits, I don't know. You mean the moth, clean? Moth? No, I don't mean moth. I've got to start looking after things around here. What things, ma'am? His suits and his ties, Jay's ties, too. His ties, ma'am? I cleaned that chili sauce off his blue tie. Is something wrong with the other ties, ma'am? I don't know. There's something wrong with something, and I'm going to find out what it is. But the mister doesn't like to have me fooling around with his things, and he told me.
Laura, did you hear what I said?
Yes, ma'am.
And all his shirts, too.
Yes,
Yes, I'm going to start looking after his things. I've got to see that he wears the right things. No tan shoes and things like that.
shoes, too, ma'am?
Yes, everything. First impressions last.
Yes, ma'am. What?
Oh, you wouldn't understand it, Laura. It's a business expression.
Well, it's no business of mine, ma'am, but I don't think the mister likes for us to touch his things.
It's no business of yours is right. It's his business I'm thinking about. If he makes a good impression in his business, he can put over some big deals. And I've got to see that he does.
Does what, ma'am?
Makes a good impression. From now on, I'll see that he wears the right kind of suits and ties and things. Now, you go ahead, Laura, and bring everything out here. I'm going to call him up and see what's going on down at the office. But hurry, Laura. Don't stand there like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's a letter, Betty, that I think you can answer without any dictation. Just quote the prices of those apartments out there.
I understand it, please.
Now, let's see what else we have. Well, what's this all about? Oh, yes. Take a letter to Humley and Son. Gentlemen. Oh, what is the matter with this lighter?
I just filled it this morning.
Well, why doesn't it light?
Let me see it, Uncle Ed.
No, wait, I'll see if I can answer that, will you? Don't see why this thing doesn't work.
Hello?
Hello, Betty?
Yes?
Is Uncle Ace there?
Oh, yes, Aunt Jane. He's here. Just a minute. It's Aunt Jane.
I think this wick needs pulling out or something.
We've had this thing for about a year. They don't last forever, you know. I only paid 65 cents for it.
Well, it should light if you filled it. Hello?
Hello, dear.
Hello, Jane. What's on your mind?
Nothing. What's on yours?
Nothing.
Any problems today?
What?
Any problems around there today?
What are you selling?
Really, I'm not selling anything. I said, are there any problems around the office today?
Well, yes, we've got quite a problem here.
Oh, you have? Do you want me to come down?
Come down? No, I think we'll work it out.
Well, what is it, dear?
Well, it's my lighter. It won't work.
Your what?
My lighter, the lighter that I light my cigars with. It won't work. We're trying to fix it.
Is that what you're doing now?
Yes, we paid 65 cents for it. We've only had it a year. It's quite a problem.
Well, maybe I can help you.
Well, what would you suggest?
Well, have you tried pulling out the wick?
I think Betty's trying that now. It still doesn't work, though.
Just now.
No, Jane, is it? Now, what did you call me about? What?
That's all, just to see if there was anything going on. I thought maybe you had some big deal or something.
Well, this may turn out to be. We may have to spend another 65 cents for a new lighter if we don't get anywhere. Either get a new lighter or a new thumb.
Well, I hope not, dear.
I do too, Jane. Well, it's been cozy talking to you.
Well, goodbye then.
Goodbye. What was all that about? How about it, Betty?
I think it's worn out. We'll have to get a new one.
Oh, all right, let it go. Don't bother with it now. Now, where were we?
Cumley and Sons, gentlemen.
Oh, yes. Thanks for your early reply on that garage deal, and I shall have the estimates for you by the first of the week. Trusting we can reach a deal agreeable to both sides, I remain sincerely yours. I think that about finishes the mail for today, Betty.
Hello?
Hello, Betty. Let me talk to your uncle again.
Yes, Aunt Jane. Just a minute.
Again? What is this? Hello?
How about matches, dear?
How about what?
Matches. Why can't you use matches to light the cigars with?
Is that what you called me up about?
Yes, I just thought of it after I hung up. Why do you have to spend 65 cents for a new lighter? Matches don't cost anything.
Yes, that's quite a solution there, Jane. Yes.
Your problem is over.
Yes, that's great work, Jane.
You're welcome. And anything you have that comes up like that, you let me know, dear. I can help you with your problems all the time. Did anybody come in for a big deal or something?
For a bit, no, not since you called a minute ago.
Well, if they do and you need my help, well, just let me know. I'll talk it over with you. Very touching to have a woman to talk to about it.
What did you say?
I say it's touching to have a woman to talk to, especially your wife.
Isn't this awful? Well, Jane, it's been nice hearing from you. Don't call me again sometime.
I will. Oh, I just know, dear.
Yes?
Which shoes is he wearing?
Did you say shoes?
Yes, which shoes has he got on now?
Oh, Jane, are you going to make me take my feet out from under my desk just to answer that question? wearing my shoes with the run-down heels?
What color are they?
Tan.
I thought so.
What are you talking about?
I've just been going over all your clothes here. Something's got to be done.
Over my... Now, Jane, you stay out of there. I've got everything arranged just where I can lay my hands on whatever I want.
There's nothing here you want. I never saw such suits and those ties.
Hi, have you... What are you doing?
Well, Saturday afternoon, we're going shopping.
Who?
You and I. I'll pick out a nice for you and ties.
You'll pick... Look, Jane, I haven't the time right now to argue with you. Will you just let everything stay as it is until I get home tonight?
No, Laura and I are busy cleaning out your closet, and we're
And
going
Laura and you?
Yes, we are.
Oh, Jane, why don't you stop? Haven't you got anything else to... Look, go next door and visit with Mrs. Frederick. You said you liked her so much.
Well, she's gone. She's gone downtown to her husband's office. Now, remember, it's a date, Saturday afternoon, and I won't take this for an answer.
Well, I've always bought my own clothes.
Yes, and look at me. I'll see if you get the right thing.
Listen, Jane, I can stand on my own feet.
Well, do they have to be wearing those awful pants you?
Oh, I'll talk it over with you later. What a life.
Yes, it's a short life, but a married one.
Yeah, you said it, a married one. Isn't that
Well,
awful? Jane's an apt pupil, and it looks as if Mr. Ace's life is going to become quite complicated. We learn more about that when...
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
The Martian Death March. I've always been interested in lost causes. The revolt of the Scottish Jacobites against England, the last stand of the Cherokee and Sioux Indians, and the death march of the Martian Highlanders in 1997. There's been a lot written about that march. The UN Commission report covers 4 volumes, but the whole story isn't down on paper yet. I know it because I was on that march from the beginning to the end. There's one part of the story that no one ever mentions. The Martian Death March of 97 was led by an Earthman. Maybe you've been over the route of the march. There wasn't any highway there 30 years ago in 97. There was desert, hot, burning desert. I lived at the edge of the Calmac Canal then with my father. He was a prospector searching the surrounding desert with sonar probe and Geiger counter, scratching just enough ore from under the Martian sands to pay for our grub stake the next year. I remember he was in the Adamson digger in the North Quadrant when I came running out that day.
There's somebody coming, Dad, across the desert.
You sure?
I saw them. They're a couple of miles out.
Well, how many cars?
They're on foot.
On foot across the desert?
Honest, Dad. I saw them.
Are you sure it wasn't a light reflection off the canal?
No. It was dark against the sand.
I don't like that. You run back and get the rifles out. I've got to pull the digger into the shed.
Is there going to be fighting, Dad?
I don't know. I got a whole year's ore piled out back in the bins, and I ain't going to lose it to no claim jumpers. You go back to the shack and break out those rifles and see they're loaded, you hear? And jump!
Dad had 3 surplus Army rifles and a couple of homemade grenades made out of ore cans stuffed with Adamson A explosives. We crouched inside the shack, waiting. The shadow of the water tower in the doorway grew longer as the quick Martian dusk settled down over the desert.
And there they come, Al. There's two of them.
What's that on the first one's back?
Why, I haven't seen one of those in 20 years.
What is it?
A one-man desert tank. They used to carry water that way before Adamson put out the air-still units.
There's something funny about that second one. Look, he's all spindly, and his head's funny.
He's funny, all right. Al, that's a Martian.
I never saw one off the reservation before.
Well, there hasn't been one, not in 10 years. I don't like this.
Here they come into the dooryard.
You remember what I told you. Line up the sights and just squeeze the trigger.
Hello! Hello there!
Now, Dad?
Hello!
Wait a minute. What do you want?
Water! I need water!
Who are you?
My name is John.
John, huh? What are you doing with that spider?
His name is Cantalcar.
I don't care what his name is. What's a human doing with a Martian?
I found him in the dry bed of Calmac Canal, nearly dead of thirst.
He probably ran off from the reservation.
When our brothers are caged, they seek freedom.
Brothers? Those spiders?
All living creatures are our brothers, on Mars as on Earth.
Hey, wait a minute. Bert Ostrom at False Wells told me there was a screwball heads preacher over there hollering about letting the spiders loose off the reservations.
Let no man call his own, no man nor tribe nor nation.
I guess that's you, all right. Bert told me they called you Crazy John. I don't suppose there's any harm in you. Fill your tank up at the air still. And you can even have supper with us.
We would be happy to.
We? What do you mean, we?
Cantalcar and myself.
That spider? Oh, no, I ain't having a Martian sit down and eat with me. You come on, though.
Thank you, sir. No. Where my brother is not welcome, I cannot go.
Well, suit yourself. Al, get the key to the water tower. Come out here.
All right, Dad.
And put away the guns. We won't have any trouble from these two.
The old man filled his tank at the air-still tower, and the Martian went through the ash pile for half-burned fuel brick. When we went to the house for supper, I could see them silhouetted against the fire. The old man with his wild hair and beard, and the thin, spidery arms and legs of the Martian.
Dad,
What?
are all the Martians on the reservation?
Yeah. All but a couple of wild ones in the mountains up north. The patrol catches a couple every year.
Why?
Well, they murder people.
No, I mean, why are they on the reservation?
Because it's the safest place to keep them, Pestisol.
How many are there?
Oh, I don't know. A few thousand. They keep dying off.
Why?
Well, they catch earth diseases. Chickenpox almost wiped out the whole gang of them 2 years ago.
Chickenpox? I had that. It didn't wipe me out.
You ain't a Martian.
I was born on Mars.
Well, I mean you ain't one of those spiders. Now eat your food, it'll get cold.
Okay. Dad,
Oh, what now?
were the Martians always on the reservation?
Well, since the Outpost 3 massacre, they have been.
What was that?
Oh, back before you were born, they lived wild in the mountains up north.
Were they fierce?
Fierce enough. Only place for them spiders, behind wire.
Yeah, it sure is.
Out in the dooryard, the campfire flickered at the base of the water tower. The first of the Martian moons had set. The other wouldn't rise for several hours. I could hear the sandpeepers out in the desert as I stood there. The old man and the Martian were sitting on the ground, huddled close to the fire. It gets cold fast on the desert when the sun goes down.
Is that you, boy? You can come up to the fire if you like.
My dad wouldn't like it.
All right.
But I'm not afraid of no spider.
No, there is nothing to be afraid of.
How come his arms are all skinny?
Ask him.
Does he talk?
Yes, his name is Cantalcar.
It is, huh? Hello.
Hello, boy.
He talks funny.
It is not my language.
Why isn't he on the reservation? You can get in trouble helping spiders to escape.
No man has the right to imprison the innocent. They that are enslaved will be freed. They that are in sickness and misery will be comforted. They that are exiled in a strange place will be restored.
My dad says the spiders are treacherous, cowardly, murdering savages. That's what he says.
Boy, there was a time on this world when there were no Earthmen, when the ships and the machinery of Earth were unknown. Then the people of the highlands lived in peace. But today they are a handful, starving, dying behind the wire.
But the reservation isn't so bad.
Our home is in the mountains of the north, not the desert.
I heard a voice which cried out to me in the desert, "Go to your brothers."
Do they really call you crazy, John?
I have been called many things.
You really think we ought to let those old spiders off the reservation?
Boy, we die here in the desert. We die in the sun and of the sicknesses you have brought from Earth.
That's 'cause Martians are just weak. I'll bet I could knock you down myself.
You could. We are a different people. We have not the strength of muscle of Earthmen. But we will not stay here to die.
You won't get off the reservation. The patrol takes care of all that. They won't let any stinking old spiders out.
Even in the minds of children is planted the poison of evil. How long?
That night through the window, I could see the flicker of the old man's campfire. He was walking up and down now, shouting, singing hymns, verse after verse, his white beard catching the light as he passed behind the fire. The Martian sat slumped over, his thin, spindly arms folded across the huge barrel chest that had developed over the centuries as the air of Mars thinned and escaped into space. In the morning, I looked out, and they were gone. Looking back now, we wonder how they did it. The high-voltage wire around the reservation carried a fatal charge. The patrolmen in the tower had 50-caliber machine guns. The desert around the camp was mined heavily. Yet, at dawn, August 7th, 1997, they broke out. I was down at the dried-up canal bed hunting sandpeepers when my father came running after me.
Al! Al!
Here I am.
Come on, back to the house.
What's the matter, Dad?
You shut up and run.
What is it?
The spiders busted loose. Bert Olstrom radioed in.
They coming here?
They're headed this way, the murdering devils.
They kill anybody?
6 patrolmen when they busted through the wire.
What are you going to do, Dad?
Fire a keg of Adamson A across the gate. You get in there and get the guns out.
I got the rifles and shoved a full clip in each one. Then I slipped a primer fuse on the homemade grenades and lugged them out to the porch. Dad was running lead wires back to a detonator from a half keg of Adamson A he'd set across the gate.
There. And that's it. Now give me one of those rifles.
Will they be here soon?
You can see the dust over the rise. Murdering spiders.
What'll they do?
I don't know. Now make sure you get a good sight, Al. Don't waste any bullets.
There they are, Dad. There they come.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up now. I want to get a good shot. Let him get closer.
Dad, that's Crazy John up in front. There. He's taller than the spiders. You can see his beard.
You're right. Oh, that renegade rat. He probably helped them break out of the reservation. Listen, Al. If anything happens to me, you ride out back to the shed. You can hide out in the empty ore bins till they go away. Now, you got that?
All right, Dad.
We're going to come in.
The spider's shouting something, Dad.
Probably a trick. Get down a little, Al. You're in the way. I got him clear now. Right in the head. Up a little now. Got him. Got him, Al.
Dad, look out. They've got guns.
Down. Get down.
Oh, Dad.
Get out, Al. Get out to the shed.
Dad, you're hit.
Go on. Those spiders are going to rush. Now get going.
No, I can't let you.
I want you to get out of here. You hear? Get out.
I ran back through the house to the shed. Behind me, I could hear the Martians sweeping up to the dooryard. Then suddenly the ground shook, and I could feel the dull concussion waves hit my ears as the Adamson A exploded. I could hear the high, whispered screams of the Martians and the rattle of fragments on the metal roof of the shed. I dived into the empty ore bin and slammed the hatch almost shut. I sat there waiting. And then suddenly a shadow fell across the edge of light, and the hatch slid open on top of me.
You leave me alone. I'll kill you.
Boy, I've been looking for you.
Where's my dad? What did you do to my dad?
He's dead.
You killed him. You and those spiders. I'll kill you. I'll kill all those stinking, murdering spiders.
They are our brothers, boy. Your father shot without warning, and the fire was returned against my orders.
You mean you weren't going to attack us?
Our brothers came in peace. They are going home to their mountains. We came to get water for the journey.
You mean you just wanted water? You... Dad!
John, the Earth Patrol will be following us soon.
We must go.
And the boy?
We'll have to leave him here with water and supplies.
No. The Earth Patrol would question him. We need the time. He goes with us.
They tore the Adamson air still from the tower and mounted it on poles. They piled our supplies in the yard and loaded them on their backs. And then they started. I marched with the old man at the head, and the column stretched out behind us on the desert. I turned to look back at our house. But the sun was behind it, blinding red. The old man pulled me around as he marched, his eyes fixed on the horizon, where far to the north rose the cool mountains that were the ancient home of the Highlanders. 14 of the Martians died the first day. They dropped to the side of the column when they could go no farther, and died. But the march went on. On the 5th day, we swung wide to avoid a mining settlement, but not wide enough. The miners were in ambush behind a pile of rocks.
I shall lead them home. Home to the promised rest. Home to the mountains. March forward. March forward.
And the march went on. We wound across the desert in wild zigzags, following the paths the old man had traveled through the years. Only once a patrol plane hovered on the horizon, and then shot away. The days went on, the weeks, and the Martians died. They died of exhaustion. They died of the diseases we had given. And they died of thirst. The Adamson still could produce 27 units of water an hour, no more. And on that, they died of thirst.
Here, boy, here's your water.
But that's more than the others got.
Take it.
It's yours. You're giving me your water.
It will be provided to me. He that brings justice to his brothers will drink deep of the water of righteousness. He that... Drink your water, boy.
Across the desert, from the Kalmak Canal to Fever Dip, past the towering mesas of the Higgins Badlands, across the dry sea bottoms they marched. On the 54th day of the march, we halted at evening. The air was thinner, colder now. The rations had long since been exhausted. I lay down to sleep, wrapped in the old man's coat. Early in the morning, before sunrise, I woke suddenly. The ground mist that had covered the desert the night before was lifting slowly. And I saw the old man standing by the burned-out fire, the vapor swirling around his legs in the cold light of the false dawn, edging his wild beard.
Go back to sleep, boy.
I can't.
The end is near. I have led them through the wilderness, dry shod across the seas, and before us lie the mountains.
You mean we're almost there?
When the mist is taken from the eyes of man, the place of refuge can be seen.
You mean the mountains? It's over. We're there.
I have led them to their home, and I must go back to the desert.
You mean alone?
Even now, I hear a voice in the wind. Carry the message to the men of Earth. Bring to this new world the message of the old. All beings created in the universe are my brothers, and he that harms my brother harms me. Goodbye. Goodbye, boy. You'll be safe now.
Goodbye, John. Goodbye.
The Martians found him 500 yards from the camp, dead. Now the mist rose, and before us towered the highlands, the tall green mountains and the cool sky. The march was over. Of the 7,000 Martians who started, 900 were alive. They gathered now on the rise of ground and faced the hills. Their thin bodies wavered as they stood, and some dropped to the ground as they stood there. But there was a light of hope in their large, staring eyes. Most of them had died, but they had died on the way home. And now the march was over. Then the patrol planes were spotted on the horizon, and within 10 minutes they had landed. The Martians stood silently as the squads piled out and set up the .50 caliber machine guns and the petroleum gel flamethrower.
All right, you spiders. Hands up and stay together. Gather in a bunch and don't try anything. Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Shoot the first spider that moves. And shoot to kill. All right, where's that boy? There was a boy reported.
Here I am.
Oh, you all right, kid? They hurt you?
No, I'm all right. John gave me his water ration.
Oh, the leader, huh? Well, I've got a warrant for him. Where is he?
There. He's dead.
Huh? Oh. Well, just as well. I'd hate to be him in front of a settler's jury.
What are you going to do to them?
The spiders? See those transport planes coming in? We're going to ship them all back to the reservation where they belong.
You can't. You can't do that.
What are you talking about, kid?
You can't take them back. They're home. John said they were home. You can't take them back. It isn't fair. I won't let you.
No,
I won't let you. I won't let you.
Hey, let go of me. Sergeant!
Yes, sir.
Peel this crazy kid off me.
All right, now, kid, take it easy. I must be shot. Can't believe he's safe now.
Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, you spiders, step it up. Move along to those transport planes. It's all over now. You're headed right back to the reservation.
They separated them in groups of 50 and loaded them on the planes. 900 out of 7,000. And soon the first big-bellied ships waddled out on the hard sands and lifted slowly into the air, headed back to the south, flying over the trail of dead and dying who started on the march to the highlands, the march to home.
Don't worry about them spiders, kid. We'll take care of them. Come on now, kid. You'll feel better as soon as you get back to civilization.
I looked once more at the green mountains towering through the mist. And then, just before the motor raced, I saw John. Crazy John propped up against a dognut bush where the Martians had placed him. The wind from the south gave the wild hair and beard a rippling life. He faced the hills, the home and rest he had promised his brothers, as he led them through the wilderness of Mars.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production. Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Castaways, by Ernest Kinoy. In the South Pacific, night comes on rapidly. The sun dips below the flat horizon, the sea is crimson for a moment, and then night falls. But on Tahani Atoll, giant arc lights turn night into day. Across the waters of the lagoon, within the barrier reef, launches and tugs skitter back and forth, while on the curving half-moon of the island, Army trucks and jeeps scuttle down the rough roads bulldozed by the Seabees just 6 weeks ago. A low Quonset hut stands near the beach, surrounded by tangled wire. This is the preliminary command post, and inside is General Frank Gaydosh, field director of the test. Operation Destruction.
Everything's on schedule, General. Radiological surveys complete. Instruments placement checked.
Well, get me Navy and tell them HR is as ordered. Send a periodic time check to Air Force on 90-week talk and observation control on the Missouri.
Yes, sir.
I want a complete roster check on all personnel before HR.
Yes, sir. Oh, Nate Cohen wants to see you.
Well, who the devil's he?
AP man. He's been selected by the press radio pool to interview.
I haven't got any time. Tell him to speak to Major Dwight Friedenberg. He's the PRO.
I think perhaps you'd better see him, sir. The directive on public relations from Washington was very clear.
Well, how in blazes am I supposed to run a bomb test and play mother hen to a bunch of reporters?
Washington said...
All right. Bring him in. Borelli?
Yes, sir.
Give me some black coffee, will you?
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Cohen, General Gaydosh.
How do you do, General?
Lousy, as a matter of fact.
Is that an official statement?
No. You can run some of that "the world is at the crossroads" baloney.
I wrote that yesterday. General, what effect do you think the new bomb will have on the world situation?
I can't tell you that, even if I knew. My job is to set the blasted thing off and see that nobody gets hurt, and collect the data.
Can I speak to you a moment, sir?
Later, Alan. Go ahead, Cohen.
Can you release anything on the scientific principles involved?
I don't even understand them myself. Wait a minute. Dr. Muller?
Yes?
Come over here a minute, will you? Cohen, this is Dr. Fred Muller, Civilian Scientific Director. He's the only one who knows what's inside that warhead.
How do you do, Mr. Cohen?
How about a statement, Doctor?
Oh, I'm afraid all I'm allowed to say is that the bomb is new, it's extremely powerful, and off the record, it's very tricky and dangerous.
What'll happen if it goes off prematurely?
I don't think we have to worry about that. In fact, we wouldn't even know about it. If you'll excuse me now.
How about the natives?
Well, what about them?
Aren't they going to be evacuated from the island?
We already have been.
General Gaydosh.
I saw the Tahani chief outside when I came in. The whole tribe squatting down at the motor pool having a conference.
What? Alan.
I've been trying to tell you, sir. The Tahani are still on the island.
Well, why? The LCTs are ready, aren't they?
Yes, sir, but they won't go. They refuse.
The schedule called for their evacuation to Bailani 3 hours ago.
I realize that, sir, but I hoped we could still get them off without violence.
Look, Alan, they're either on the island or off. Now, wait a minute. Cohen, that's all.
What are you going to do about the natives, General?
Never mind. I'll issue a statement later.
You going to force them?
Go on. Get out. I haven't got time.
All right, General. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
All right, Alan. Let's have it.
Well, sir, the Tahani have been kicking up all along. They won't leave.
They won't. Do they know what's going to happen to the island? Do they know that we're going to blow it higher than a kite?
I told the chief. He just said they won't go.
They'll go, all right, if I have to... Yeah, hey, get him in here.
The chief?
Yeah, and that lieutenant who interprets.
Yes, sir.
How do you like that, Dr. Muller? I haven't got enough trouble.
You know, I feel rather sorry for the Tahani. Can't make much sense to them. We arrive and tell them they've got to get out.
Look, I appreciate your finer feelings, Muller, but I can't let the Kanakas hold up the bomb test.
They're not Kanakas, General. Captain Cook discovered the island in 1788.
Well, what's the difference?
Lieutenant Gilbert reporting, sir.
Hey, look, I haven't got time for ceremony, Gilbert. Tell the chief he and his tribe have got to get off the island. We're providing homes for them on Mailani.
Translate,
Gilbert.
The chief says you do not understand. Mailani is a bad island. My people have lived on Tahani from the time that our ancestors were cast away on the island. The spirits of our ancestors are buried in the earth. Our fathers are buried here. Our fathers' fathers.
If he thinks I'm going to move his graveyard, he's crazy.
In our ancestors' time, the Tahani came in a great bird canoe. We were cast away on this island. We have made it our home. What right have you now to carry us over the sea to a strange land where we would die weeping for our homes? We will not go.
By the waters of Babylon, there we sat down and we wept when we remembered Zion.
Well, thank you, Dr. Muller. You're a great help. Say, Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Tell him I have no choice. He's got till midnight to get his tribe on board those LCTs peacefully, or I'll have the Marine Detachment carry him aboard.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that rather harsh, General? After all, justice is on their side. We're preparing to blow up their island, and we haven't asked them about it.
Dr. Muller, will you kindly confine yourself to the scientific aspects of this operation? I'll take care of administrative matters.
If you could explain to them what's at stake here.
Any further explaining I've got to do, I'll do with the Marine detachments. I'm not going to hold up my schedule. Well, Gilbert?
I told him, sir.
All right, get him out of here. I've had enough.
No, koala.
What the devil's that?
Some kind of a curse, sir. I can catch some of it. The island will remember the tears of its children and punish the invaders. The great destroyers will not destroy. And the evil man, who is the chief, will travel far through the blackness of night. Even as the children of the island end, so will he.
All right, Gilbert, take him away.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Allen, get a detail from the Marine Detachment with tear gas and small arms down to the motor pool. And in 1 hour, have those natives on that transport, and I don't care how they do it. Is that my copy, Varelli?
Yes, sir.
They must know about the bomb. The great destroyer will not destroy.
You worried about that curse?
I should think you might be. He threatened you personally. If I were you, I'd carry a pistol till they got off the island. The chief looked as if he'd cheerfully strangle you with his bare hands.
I'm supposed to end the way they do, huh? What's that?
Probably the Tahani saying goodbye to their island. I think I'll go down to the motor pool.
Well, stay out of the way. And get back here in an hour. We've got to have this wrapped up and headquarters moved out to the Missouri by dawn.
Instrument room checking in, sir.
That's the last. Have the Missouri take over control and send for my jeep.
Yes, sir.
Are the LCTs standing by for those natives?
Yes, sir. They're on the beach.
The bomb unit is assembled in place, General.
2330, right on the nose. Robin, start evacuation procedure.
The Tahani have stopped.
Allen's probably moving them out to the beach. Check in with Navy and Air Force, Pirelli.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Coming from the beach.
The Tahani making trouble. Come on.
General.
Hey, Gilbert, what is it?
Colonel Allen ordered the Marines.
Well, what happened?
The natives just got up and started marching.
Did they embark?
You don't understand, sir. They marched up the cliff and right off into the lagoon.
What?
All of them, the women and the kids, too. They didn't even try to swim.
What were you doing all this time, just standing around with your thumb in your mouth? Where was the Marine detachment?
We couldn't stop them, sir. They just walked over the cliff. They didn't even scream, not even the kids. We sent the crash boats out, but we couldn't get them, any of them.
The crazy idiots. Were there any reporters there?
Well, Cohen and a life photographer.
Well, get his film and hold it till I release it.
What are you going to do, General? Postpone H hour?
It's too late for that now. And calling H hour off isn't going to bring the natives back.
100 men, women, and children just walking into the water. It's horrible.
I know. I'm not happy about it either. There's nothing we can do now. I gave him a chance to get off.
I was just thinking about the curse the chief put on you. Even as the children of the island end, so will he. That's what he said to you, General.
I know, I heard him.
Your jeep's waiting, General.
The great destroyer will not destroy. That must mean the bomb.
Don't worry, Dr. Muller. It'll take more than a mumbo-jumbo curse from a native witch doctor to stop this operation. At H hour, that bomb goes off.
H hour minus 1 minute 30 seconds. H minus 1:30.
Video screen's hooked in, sir.
All right, check control stations.
Observation Station 1.
Observation Station 1, check.
Radiation Station.
Radiation control, check.
Test the firing
Observation
circuit,
Station
Dr.
2.
Muller.
Right, General.
Damage control station.
Damage control, check.
All set.
Communications.
Communications, check.
All checked in, sir.
It is H minus 1 minute. H minus 1.
Take a good look at that island on that screen, Dr. Muller. When you throw that key, it just won't be there anymore. Nothing but an atom mushroom over the lagoon.
Quite a funeral pyre for the Tahanis.
Stubborn idiots. They can't get in the way of progress.
Progress? I wonder if it is, General.
It is H minus 30 seconds. H hour minus 29, 28, 27, 26.
The Great Destroyer. That's what he called the bomb.
Hold it, Muller. Allen, report.
All checked in, sir. Cameras running.
Sound fire warning. Stand by for firing. Ready, Muller?
Ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
General, it didn't go off. The bomb didn't go off.
Borelli, signal standby. Condition red.
Yes, sir.
Allen, check readings. Muller, what's wrong? What happened?
I don't know. The bomb didn't go off.
Well, what do you mean? Why didn't it?
I don't know, except for one thing. The Tahani chief said the Great Destroyer would not destroy. It didn't, General. The bomb didn't go off.
How about it, General? What happened? Have you got a statement?
Nothing you can use, Cohen. Not till we find out what went wrong. Hey, who let you come aboard this ship?
I walked on. You don't know why the bomb failed?
It didn't fail. It just didn't go off.
What's that tank thing on the deck, General?
Undersea salvage unit, Mark IV. They call it a bottom crawler.
Somebody going down?
Well, that bomb is down there in the lagoon somewhere. Could go off at any second. Somebody's got to go down and find it and disarm it.
That's a lovely job. Who's elected?
I am.
Wow.
And Dr. Muller. He's the only one who knows how to dismantle it.
All is ready, General.
All right. Come on, Muller.
I'm ready.
Allen, as soon as we hit shallow water, get those gates open. We'll pull the crawler out. And then you get away in a hurry. If that bomb goes while we're working on it, I don't want any casualties.
Yes, sir.
Inside, Muller.
All right. I'm in.
Now, remember, get this LST out of the lagoon in a hurry. You got that, Allen? You take your orders from Admiral Yancey.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Closing the hatch. The radar and Geiger counter warmed up, Muller.
I was just thinking of something, General. That curse, part of it came true. The bomb didn't go off.
Well?
The second part of that curse was that you would end where they ended. That was at the bottom of the lagoon.
What are you trying to do, Muller?
Nothing. I was just thinking this crawler is going to take us right down there where the Tahani died.
I'm not worried about a handful of dead natives, Muller. I'm worried about that bomb. Okay, they're opening the gate. Let's go. USU-4 to control. Depth 50 feet, bottom sandy, dropping off sharp. Anything on sonar, Muller?
School of fish.
You ever been down in a crawler before?
Only in the tank at New London. I think I've got a Geiger reading dead ahead. Hang on. Getting something on sonar now. Left to point.
USU-4 to control. Over. USU-4 to control. Over. It's a fine note. The radio's out.
Dead ahead. Looks too large to be the bomb.
Can't see much on the forward vision plate. Hey, wait a minute. That's part of the reef ahead.
That's where the Geiger reading indicated. The bomb must have settled in a hole in the reef.
We'll have to go after it in diving suits. The suits are in the locker. Let's get this over with. The less time I spend down here waiting for that bomb to blow, the better I like it.
Muller, is your helmet clamped tight? You getting me all right on your headset?
Okay.
I'm going to fill the lock. Here goes the outer door. Let's go.
This isn't like that diving tank in New London.
Look out for that coral. It can cut you to ribbons.
There's a hole of some sort there.
Wait till I get the light up. See if we can get a Geiger reading out of that hole.
Just a... There. It's down there, all right.
Careful. I'll drop down first.
See anything down there?
Muller, get down here fast.
What is it? Find something?
The bottom of this hole, it's metal, and the sides.
But it's the coral reef.
Look, welded joints. These are hull plates of some kind.
Look out, above us.
It's closing. Grab it.
Too late.
A metal hatch. It just slid over the top.
This is impossible. What's going on?
It's like an airlock.
The water's being pumped out. General, you realize what this means?
I'm not sure. There's an inner door opening. Careful.
It's a passageway. What do we do now?
There isn't much we can do. We can take off our helmets, though. The dial shows good air.
All right. Come on.
What is this? An undersea fort? What's it doing here? What does it mean?
Whatever it is, our bomb must be down here. Wait, there's someone there.
I can't see. There's a shadow. Who is it? Who's there?
Welcome, Dr. Muller. Welcome to our ship. We've been waiting for you.
General, it can't be. Do you see it? It's the Tahani chief.
How long has the bottom crawler been down, Borelli?
4 hours, sir. 2 since we lost contact.
I'll keep trying.
Yes, sir.
I've given him enough time. I'm going to send another crawler down.
What do you figure happened to him, Colonel?
Well, there are a lot of things. Hey, how did you get in here?
I walked in. When are you going to release this, Colonel? It's the biggest story since the election. Bomber dead and Dr. Muller and General Gaydar dead.
They're not dead. At least we don't know they are. As long as that bomb doesn't go off, there's still a chance. What
happened?
Early, condition red. Gilbert, radiation control into action. Get the hot squad into Tahani Lagoon as soon as it's cleared. And get me a PT boat with radiation screens.
What is it, Colonel? What happened?
Bomb must have blown.
How about Muller and the General?
If they were down there in that lagoon, you guessed. Now get out of my way. I'm busy.
Radiation reading 75 and steady.
Take her in as close to the beach as you can.
Steady as she goes.
Is there any danger of any more explosions?
No. When she goes, she goes.
Radiation 82.
That's still safe. Cohen, is that something on the beach?
Yeah. Looks like a body. Maybe you blew one of the Tahani back out of the lagoon.
No, it's moving. Gilbert, glasses.
Yes, sir.
That's a man, all right. Head into the beach.
Who is it, Colonel?
Can't tell. He's in a diving suit. It's either Muller or General Gaydar. Get his helmet off. Easy now.
Twist to the right.
There. It's Muller. Gilbert, help me get him out of this diving suit. We've got to get him to the medics.
No radiation burns, superficial bruises, mild shock. He'll be all right, Colonel.
Can he talk?
For a while.
Bomb go off.
It didn't.
He's still out of his head.
Quiet, Cohen. Go on, Dr. Muller. What did you find?
A ship. A giant metal ship there under the lagoon.
A submarine?
No. It was a spaceship.
Spaceship?
Camouflaged right next to the reef. When we went inside, we found the Tahani chief and all the tribe. Alive.
What? They drowned in the lagoon. I saw them.
No, they didn't commit suicide as we thought. They just dived underwater into the rocket airlock.
Rocket? Airlocks? Now, look, Muller, I know you've suffered a shock, but...
But it's true.
It can't be. A
spaceship built by Polynesian savages.
But they're not savages. They're the Castaways. They're from another planet. Don't you understand? Their spaceship was wrecked here 400 years ago. They've been waiting ever since for a chance to go home.
He's out of his mind. Better give him a sedative, Doctor.
No, wait a minute, Colonel. Remember their story about the great bird canoe? Maybe there's something to the legend.
Not a legend. It's true. They'd exhausted their fuel, came down out of space, couldn't find anything here on Earth to replace their fuel source until we developed atomic power.
Atomic power? You mean they stole our bomb?
That's right. Fished it out of the lagoon, hauled it aboard.
Yes, but how could they convert it to atomic drive?
They made me dismantle it for them at the point of a gun. Then just before they blasted off, they let me go.
But what about the general?
Remember the Tahani curse?
I see. You mean they killed him?
You don't understand. I said I dismantled that bomb at the point of a gun. It was General Gaidash who was holding the gun. What? He was one of them, one of their spies sent out to bring back the rocket fuel they needed. And the Tahani curse wasn't a curse at all. It said that when they left the island, so would he.
You mean he's with them now?
Yes. And after 400 years, the Castaways are going home.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
No matter how long and how hard any job seems to be, there's always a way to do it. Always an answer to everything that seems to go wrong. And it looks as if the Gregory party have found the answer to their troubles. When Mrs. Gregory, her daughter Joan, Jerry Hall, and Captain Bradford were taken to the Euclidean city beneath the sea and given their freedom to roam through the city as they pleased, it proved that the freedom was mostly imaginary, as they are prisoners. Perhaps even more surely prisoners than they were on the Magic Island. The Euclidean city is built in 13 enormous natural caves under the ocean, the smallest of these rooms being a mile in diameter, and the largest nearly 2 miles across. The highest point in this weird city is 200 feet below the water, and escape has seemed impossible. Now, however, we find Jerry and Joan walking through one of the large caves, and they're mighty cheerful about something.
But, Joan, are you sure G47 will keep his promise?
I have told you repeatedly, Jerry, that G47 need not stoop to the practice of deceiving anyone. He is quite secure in Euclidia.
No, I guess that's right. He could let Tex work with those rocket ships all he wanted to, and still be mighty sure that there wasn't any danger of our stealing one of them.
Captain Bradford is very clever, but even he would find it impossible to take a rocket ship out of these underwater caverns.
Yeah, I guess he would. But if the Euclidean... Hey, where are we going?
We are going to the transportation room, where we will be allowed to see all of the Euclidean methods of transportation.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
What were you about to say when you interrupted yourself?
When I interrupted myself?
Yes, Jerry, you were mentioning the Euclidean rocket ships and the impossibility of getting one of them out of this colony.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just thinking about how impossible that impossibility really is.
Jerry, an impossibility is an impossibility. There are no degrees of comparison. A matter is either possible or impossible.
You just saved me the trouble of trying to tell you that. If it's impossible to get all those submarine rocket ships and all the other gadgets these guys use to get around in, and if it's impossible to get them out of here, what good are they? Did they build them just to look at them?
I stated that Captain Bradford could not get them out.
The Euclideans get them out, don't they?
Naturally.
Then Tex Bradford can get them out.
That does not follow. The Euclideans will impose certain restrictions on the captain.
And when Tex gets ready, he'll smash those restrictions all to pieces.
I hope you are correct, Jerry.
You sound like your hopes were mighty weak. Say, Joan, our footsteps don't make any more noise.
I had observed that. We are entering a section of the city where the floor of the cavern has been covered with the Euclidean noiseless steel.
And our voices are getting that funny hollow sound they had up in that sound laboratory on the island.
So they are. I believe that would indicate that we are approaching one of the more important sound testing laboratories on this level.
Then maybe we'll see something interesting, huh?
If we are allowed to see anything, it will prove interesting.
Well, I'll agree with that. These Euclideans put on a good show, even if they're only giving you something to eat.
Jerry, stop.
What's the matter?
In another moment, you would have walked into that steel wall.
Oh, looks like it. Oh, well, we can go some other way.
But the captain wanted us to visit the transportation chambers, and we were directed here.
Well, directed or not, I'm not walking through any walls today.
There must be some other manner of passing that wall.
Oh, sure there is. But if they don't want us there, we'll stay on this side.
Jerry, there is that signal again.
Yeah. Sounds like the one they use when they want us to come to lunch. But it's only 4 o'clock now.
The signal sounded 4 times. Is that not logical at 4 o'clock?
Well, sure, if that's what it's for. But they didn't do that at 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock. Why do it at 4?
I do not know.
Well, maybe... Oh, golly whiskers, Joan.
What is it, Jerry?
Look, through this wall.
Euclideans.
I'll say Euclideans.
I have never seen so many together at one time.
Well, there must be 50 of them, all dressed alike, in those funny costumes of Euclidean cloth.
They are rapidly approaching this transparent steel wall.
And this wall's plenty soundproof, or else they're walking on this noiseless steel. They're heading straight for this wall.
Then there is an opening in the wall for them to pass through.
Well, unless they're going to walk right straight through it.
This is a solid steel wall, Jerry, and there is no magic in Euclidia.
Well, that's what old G47 told us when we first got here, but I still don't believe it.
If you will look carefully at this wall, you will note that it is rising. Silently and slowly, but surely rising.
Yeah, it's going up all right. Say, we'd better get back out of the way and let the parade through.
It will be wise to step slightly to one side.
Well, that wall's up just over their heads now, and here they come. Gee, that's a creepy sight. That long line of people, all dressed exactly alike, marching along in single file, looking straight ahead, and not a sound out of them.
Needless conversation is not encouraged among the workers of Euclidia.
Well, this bunch sure isn't wasting any words on us. I never knew so many blamed people could have so little to say as the gang around this spooky place.
I think we should attempt to pass under the wall while it is raised.
Good girl, Joan. Come on. And if anybody stops us, they'll have to move out of that chain gang they're in. I'd be glad in that, just to get in that chain gang, watch it bust up.
Quickly, Jerry, the procession is nearly through.
Okay, come on then. Only a couple of steps and we'll be on the other side of the wall. Well, we made it, and nobody tried to stop us.
We are barely in time. The wall is sinking down to the floor.
And that long line of spooks is marching off someplace.
Jerry, what is a spook?
Oh, a spook is something you see every time you turn around on Euclidia, and G47 says he hasn't any up.
Oh, that is horrible English, Jerry.
Well, maybe it is, but it's the way I feel. Oh, boy. Our voices sound all right again.
That is something.
Yeah, and we're on the other side of the wall. That's something else.
It will be difficult to decide upon our course.
Huh? Oh. Why, Joan, this is really something to see.
I agree with you.
Are you sick?
Sick? You think I am ill?
Oh, must be something wrong with you. You agree with me.
Jerry, will you please?
All right. I won't try to have any more fun with you. Let's get down to business and decide which one of these little streets we want to use.
There is apparently no activity at any point in this portion of Euclidia.
Sure not much going on, but what a place this is. A regular little modern city, all laid out in streets and everything just perfect. I got it.
What have you, Jerry?
I've got the answer to this model town.
Yes?
Oh, I'll bet the Euclideans are planning to start model towns like this when they take over the rest of the world.
Well, that is possible. It is indeed a model of neatness.
Well, I guess it won't do any harm to look in one of these windows.
Wait, Jerry.
Huh?
As we are walking on this noiseless stone, do you not think we should give some indication of our presence before we attempt to peer into windows?
Well, I suppose we ought to. Hello in there. Hello in there. Hello in there.
Jerry, you are terribly noisy.
Guess I'm not noisy enough, though. I didn't wake anyone yet. I'll try it again.
Please do not. I think we may consider these buildings vacant and observe them as we choose.
On the contrary, you would be very foolish to attempt to pry into the secrets of those buildings.
Gee, the girl commander.
Precisely.
I am sorry if we have overstepped the privileges given us by G47.
You have not done so as yet.
No, then we won't. But where did you come from?
The building you have just passed. My quarters are contained in that building.
You were correct, Jerry. These are occupied.
Indeed, they are. These buildings are the quarters of the various commanders. You are now in Transportation Sector Number 1. This entire block is occupied by submarine commanders. The adjacent street houses airplane pilots.
Well, we don't want to stick our noses in any place we're not supposed to see, but G47 told us we could look at anything we get into.
That is a point on which I must question you. How did you get into this sector?
We just walked in.
Through the steel separation wall?
That wall was raised to allow a long column of workers to pass through. We entered as they passed out.
So, someone in the control tower is very careless. You must leave at once.
But, Commander...
Silence. You must leave at once. If you were found here, G47 would deprive you of all freedom and confine you to your quarters.
Okay, Skipper. How do we get out?
Follow me as rapidly as possible. I will personally allow you to pass through a private entrance in the rear of my quarters.
Well, where will we be after we get there? I mean, what kind of a place will we be in? And how do we get from there back to our quarters?
You will be in the agricultural chamber.
You mean where the pigs and the chickens and the cows are?
Precisely. You will be directly across the animal husbandry section from your own sector.
But, Commander, how can that be? We have walked for miles, and we left that room at the beginning of our tour.
The various caverns making up Euclidia form a rough circle. You have nearly completed that circle.
Golly whiskers, Joan. We've been walking in a circle.
Precisely. Now I will open the door which will admit you to the agricultural section.
Jerry, it is indeed the chamber in which we started our walk.
It sure is. And is that the elevator to our quarters way over there on the other side?
That is the elevator. One moment while I close this door.
You need not trouble yourself to the extent of conducting us to our elevator.
Silence. I have news for you.
News for us?
Precisely.
Good or bad news?
Your conduct will decide that. My opinion would be that you will, in all probability, utilize this news in a manner both foolish and dangerous. However, that is your privilege.
Well, gee, you've got me all excited. What's the news?
Your Captain Bradford is at this minute...
Commander.
What is the meaning of this interruption, Cleostra?
I offer my apologies for that, but I was frightened by the thought that we might be overheard as you gave us this news.
Yeah. What if somebody heard you telling us something you're not supposed to tell?
Do not presume so far. What I am going to tell you is common knowledge among the Euclideans. However, we will not be overheard. This sector is normal in every respect. We are as safe as if we were speaking in an open plot of ground in your own world.
Okay, Commander. What is it?
Captain Bradford has been taken to the transportation laboratory, where we will see every device known to the Euclideans, including the rocket ship.
We were aware of that.
Here is something you were not aware of, and I think the one detail which G47 has overlooked in guaranteeing your safe imprisonment here.
Well, Captain Bradford has figured out a way to escape?
Not as yet, but I would advise you to tell the captain this. Your homing pigeons may be found in the transportation laboratory.
Jerry, those little homing pigeons.
Oh, boy. If Tex can only figure how to get those pigeons up to the top of the water.
Do not raise your voices, and do not discuss this with the captain in your quarters. Bring him to this section, where we are standing now, immediately after lunch tomorrow. I will meet you here, obviously by accident. In the meantime, say nothing to the captain or to Mrs. Gregory.
But can't we even...
Tomorrow at noon, immediately after lunch, and execute your movements carefully. Your only hope of ever leaving this city rests with those pigeons. Make no mistake about that.
The magic island of Euclidia is completely submerged, and G47 has planned to have it remain so for a long time. That means that the chances of escape from the underwater city are not very bright just now. But when Jerry and Joan went on a tour of this strange colony beneath the sea, they were fortunate enough to meet their Euclidean friend, the girl submarine commander. She's given them a bit of news, and with it a great deal of hope. But Jerry and Joan can't tell their news to Mrs. Gregory and the captain in their own quarters for fear of being overheard. We find the two youngsters standing on a balcony which overlooks the agricultural section of Euclidia, trying to look innocent as they watch the floor of the cavern seeking Mrs. Gregory and Tex Bradford.
All right. I didn't say anything, did I?
Not yet.
Then what are you sticking your elbow into my ribs about?
That is a reminder that you are to continue saying nothing.
Oh, okay. I know what's worrying you, and you can stop worrying about it.
Do you think we should continue our walk?
No, not yet. I thought I saw the captain and Mrs. Gregory walking over this way. We can go down and meet them.
Very well, we will watch for them.
Well, that's what I said the first time. If you hadn't given me an argument, we'd have saved a lot of time.
What would you suggest we do with the time?
What time?
The time we would have saved if we had not wasted it in talking.
You can say the silliest things. Hey, isn't that your mother and the captain over there?
Yes, I believe it is.
Well, then come on. Let's get back down on the floor of this place and meet them.
The elevator directly behind us will take us to a point which should intersect the path upon which they're walking.
Okay, I can stand it if you can. But that funny cage they use for hauling pigs and cows around in this noisiest blamed thing this whole crazy Euclidean.
I noticed that, Jerry, and I can see no reason for it.
Well, neither can I. It's easy to see that they keep some of the things human beings use around noisy on purpose so they won't forget how to hear with all the silence around them. But who cares whether pigs can hear anything or not?
It is indeed puzzling, Jerry. But perhaps a thorough study of the mechanism as we descend will advance our education.
Well, I don't need any education about making noises to please pigs.
Nevertheless, it would be wise to accumulate as much knowledge of Euclidean methods as possible. It may prove valuable at some future time.
Now who's talking too much?
I said nothing.
You blame near said plenty. Now let's get into this noisemaker.
That is really rather terrible, Jerry.
Oh, it's really worse than that. Well, put your fingers in your ears. Here we go down. Well, golly whiskers. It's worse going down than it was coming up.
I should think the pigs would resent this.
They ought to. But hang on tight. It'll soon be over. Well, we're here. I said we're here.
I heard you, Jerry. I was merely ascertaining that your statement as to our presence was correct.
Well, I don't blame you. Now, if this gate hangs together long enough for me to open it...
We have arrived safely.
Yeah, and the next time we'll walk down.
Hello, Joan.
Oh, Jerry, there are Mother and the Captain.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford. Come on over here. We got something to show you.
Well, if you were riding in that broken calliope that just came down, you should be worth looking at.
Are you all right, Joan, dear?
Oh, we are quite all right.
Well, it's nothing short of miraculous. Tex and I watched and listened, and it seems as if the entire city were falling in.
What's the idea of all that noise, Jerry?
I don't know, Captain, and Joan couldn't figure it out either. They use this elevator for pigs and cows. Maybe there's a reason for it.
Well, I can't imagine what it could be.
Neither can I. Is it all right for us to talk here?
Yes, Captain. This is the spot indicated as being quite safe for our conversation. We cannot be heard in any of the communication chambers, as this agricultural section is completely natural, with the acoustic properties of any open space of these dimensions.
Well, as it's a mile across, I guess we're safe enough then.
What was it, Jerry? Tex and I have been nearly frantic ever since you told us so mysteriously that we were to meet you here immediately after lunch.
That was the order given to us by the commander.
That girl submarine commander?
Precisely.
What did she want?
Well, she didn't tell us the whole thing. She's going to meet us here, right now, I guess, or pretty soon.
Have you any idea what it's all about?
Yes, Captain. I think it offers a slight hope for us.
Hope? Hope of what?
Getting out of this crazy city of Euclidia.
Jerry, you mean
Not too loudly, Mother.
Well, I thought we were safe here.
All we have to do is to keep our voices reasonably low, and above everything else, we must watch carefully on all sides to see that no one approaches.
All right, we'll watch all that. Now, get along with the news. What's it all about?
Well, that girl submarine commander can tell you exactly where to look for them, and maybe she's got an idea or two how about to use them. But anyway, she knows where our homing pigeons are.
Tex, those little...
Quiet, Mother.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll be quiet. But, Tex, those homing pigeons, do you realize what this may mean to us?
You bet it may. If it's humanly possible to get those birds out of this place, we'll escape, and we'll do it mighty soon.
Shh. Quiet, everybody. Here comes the commander now.
Where?
She is coming through that small door over there in the wall. You and I must go, Mother.
Go where?
It was the wish of the commander that we watch carefully as she explains her plan to the captain and Jerry. You will walk down that path and keep us in view. Study the trees or the flowers, and be prepared to warn us if anyone should come.
Very well, Joan, dear. Please tell me as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah. You're next, Joan. Better get over there by the door to the commander's quarters. If anyone comes through it, you can get bawled out for hanging around there, and give the commander a chance to get away from it.
Such was exactly my thought. How do you do, Commander?
What are you doing here, Cleostra?
Just wandering idly around.
Very well. Wander as much as you will, but do not attempt to enter that door.
That girl sure doesn't take any chances, does she?
Oh, she can't. It would be just too bad for her if she was caught doing this.
Might I ask the purpose of your conference in this spot?
Oh, hello, Commander. I'm afraid we haven't any purpose in mind. We're apt to be found standing in spots all over this strange underwater world, just feasting our eyes on sights we never expected to see.
That would seem innocent enough. How much have you told the captain, Hall?
Well, not much. Just that you knew where the homing pigeons were kept.
That is well. And you discussed that only in this spot?
That's right, Commander. Jerry and Joan never said a word until they got us over here. But would it look suspicious if you were seen talking to us?
It might, if it were not for the fact that I arranged to have your presence here observed, and I have been sent to instruct you as to where you may and may not go on this side of the city.
What about the pigeons?
They are kept in a steel cage in the submarine experimental laboratory. I understand that you, Captain, are to work with G-47 in that section.
Right. He asked me to help him locate the weakness in those submarines.
Excellent. You will have ample opportunity to observe those pigeons and plan for their release.
Then you think we've really got a chance to get out of this place?
The opportunity is there. It must be well handled.
Have you any suggestions?
Yes. Encourage G-47 to allow you to accompany submarines and rocket ships on test runs. Attempt to establish the habit of carrying something aboard with you, something large enough to contain a pigeon at some future time.
That's mighty clever, Commander.
There is a reason for my position as High Command of the Euclidean Fleet.
I'll say there is. You think on your feet.
Only when I am standing.
That's just a slang expression of Jerry's. What he meant was to say...
And I trust it will prove necessary to warn you again. I see that Cleostra is on forbidden ground. I will send her to you, and it will be well if you confine your activities to another portion of the city.
Gee, she's plenty smart.
She sure is, son.
Cleostra, you will join your friends and leave this sector at once?
Of course, Commander, just as you say.
Joan's getting bawled out.
And she's taking it well. I'm glad we know so many people who know how to think fast.
Are you two going to stand there and talk all day?
Oh, we're going to move on, Mrs. Gregory. We just got bawled out by that girl commander.
I think we were mistaken in coming to this side of the chamber. The commander made it very plain that we were to remain away from here.
And she made that plain to us, too.
What did you find out, Tex?
I found out where the pigeons are, or at least where to look for them. And more than that, the commander gave me a mighty good tip on how to use them.
She actually suggested a way to get them free? Release them from this underwater city?
Yeah, and if I can't work it the way she suggested, it's all my fault.
Boy, then we're as good as free right now.
Do not raise your voice, Jerry.
No, and don't get too enthusiastic over our chances. This thing will take weeks, maybe months to work out.
Oh, it doesn't matter how long it takes. If we have the slightest hope of escaping from Euclidia, we can surely have patience enough to bring it about.
I'll say we can. Oh, boy. Wait till Tex starts experimenting with those submarines.
It will only be a matter of time. I am sure of that.
I think we've talked long enough about this right now. We might find that someone could slip up on us. Well, let's all keep quiet about it and do plenty of thinking. Ideas will come in handy the next time we have a chance to talk it over.
I suggest we return to our quarters.
We may as well. We've seen everything we're going to be allowed to see today.
Well, I don't care where we go now. I'm so blame happy, I'm liable to whistle right in old G-47's face if I meet him.
That would be about the worst thing you could do, Jerry. We must all be sure to act just as hopeless as we're supposed to be. G-47 would get wise mighty quickly if we're too happy all at once.
You're right, Tex. A long face is our best protection now. How far are we from our quarters?
Well, if we walk, we're a couple of miles around those paths. But if we ride this nice, quiet elevator right here, well, we're only a couple of minutes to the balcony, then right around our quarters.
Then by all means, the elevator.
Suits me. I've walked plenty for one day.
This is rather a novel elevator. You may be surprised by its activity.
Yeah, and it's quiet, too.
I saw you two come down in it. But I'll take a chance.
Okay, here we go. Now, I'll open the door.
Were you afraid this contraption will be too quiet for us?
It will surprise you still further as we ascend.
Jerry, are you sure this thing is entirely safe?
Oh, they haul plenty of pigs on it every day.
Then it certainly should do for us. These Euclideans give those pigs the best of care.
Now, I'll shut the door, and up we go. Oh, boy, am I happy.
I've had smoother rides.
Jerry thinks this is very funny.
Well, isn't it?
Your sense of humor is rougher than mine.
Pat and I watched you come down on this, but it's worse than we expected.
Yes. I didn't expect quiet, as Jerry promised. But watching is nothing to the torture of riding.
Well, we're here. Everybody out.
Now be careful, Jerry. Don't forget to look sad.
I'll try, but it's going to be mighty hard. I know what I know.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century. And the shower of silver dollars from Popsicle Pete's money box. Buck Rogers, who was held in suspended animation for 500 years, and is now adventuring in the amazing world of the 25th century. By turning a little dial to project us ahead in time, we're able to be right with Buck and his friends in the wonderful world of the future. A world that sees a lot of our scientific and mechanical dreams come true. And you know, there's nothing supernatural or mystic about Buck. He's just an ordinary, normal human being who keeps his wits about him. But he certainly manages to get into one thrilling adventure after another. Right now, he and Wilma and Dr. Hewer are getting ready to start on an expedition toward the center of the Earth in a huge machine called the Mechanical Mole. They're standing beside it on the landing field of the great municipal spaceport in Niagara, capital of 25th century America. Well, let's join them. Here we go, 500 years into the future.
Oh, what's holding us up, Dr. Hewer? I thought we were going to get started on our trip underground just as soon as we got out here.
Sergeant Karlborg is bringing some weapons and scientific equipment over from the main rocket ship hangar.
Weapons?
Oh, yes, Doctor. What possible use for weapons can we have deep under the earth?
Well, you never can tell. We've got to be prepared for everything. Karlborg is also bringing instruments that will enable us to analyze whatever sort of ground we run into down there. Also a gas analyzer.
What's that for?
I should be at all surprised if we'd run into some great open spaces miles below. Gas or air pockets.
Gas pockets, anyway. Sources for the natural gas we use here on the surface.
Exactly.
I see. But now explain this machine to me, will you? All I can tell from seeing it here is that it looks like a huge metal sausage.
Well, it's made of flexo-impervium, Wilma, the toughest flexible metal known.
But how does it work? How does it dig its way into the ground?
It melts its way down, Wilma, with the help of a thermic radiation projector. The heat from it will liquefy anything in its path. Rocks, stones, gravel, almost instantaneously.
Some heat.
Yes. The banks of non-recoil energy projectors that are spaced all around the outside of the hull will push the mold forward through the melted ground.
Will we be able to see anything through the big metallo-glass windows there in front?
Oh, yes, indeed.
And are they really thick enough?
Well, there won't be much strain on them, Wilma, because the force rays will keep pushing the melted dirt away from them all the time.
Oh. Well, now how about getting into the control cabin so I can see how to operate it?
All right. Notice that this metal door arrangement is rather complicated in order to permit entrance through 3 separate hulls. Here now. There.
Why 3 hulls, Doctor?
For protection against the extreme temperatures we may encounter.
Right. Doctor, didn't you say that the temperature will increase about 1 degree for every 53 feet we go down?
Yes, that's the generally accepted figure.
Uh-huh.
One of the many things we'll be able to check on.
There isn't much room in this control cabin. Seems to me that in a machine 50 or 60 feet long...
Power units for the non-recoil energy projectors and thermic radiation projector.
Huh?
Complete air conditioning and pressure equalizing system. Storage cabinets for all the scientific equipment. They all take a lot of room, Wilma.
Oh, sure. But now, why these straps on the control seat?
To enable us to stay in them regardless of the angle at which we're ascending or descending.
And precious use. What do we ever use these for?
Exploring any open spaces there may be down below.
Note the instrument panel here, Wilma.
Uh-huh.
The pressure gauge, depth gauge, temperature,
Captain
height.
Hewer! Captain Rogers!
Yes? Got the other equipment, Karlborg?
Yes, sir. Right here, sir.
Oh, good.
Listen,
Listen.
What's the matter?
A spy. My men just caught a spy over there by the main hangar.
What's this?
He has a telemagnetic recorder.
You mean one of those cameras for recording pictures on a sensitized wire?
Yes, sir.
Well, who is he? What's he look like?
Well, he looks just like a perfectly respectable Martian tourist, Captain.
A Martian?
But he wouldn't say why he was so anxious to take pictures, so I had the boys hold on to him.
Why, that old rascal, Black Barney.
Barney? What's he got to do with it?
Did you tell her about that, Buck?
No, I guess it slipped my mind.
Well, then tell me now.
Well, Dr. Hewer first got to thinking about this mechanical mole up on Jupiter, where Barney helped us capture Cain and Ardela.
Yeah?
And he told Barney about his plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know Black Barney.
Sure. He decided he'd have to build one, too.
Right. Told Dr. Hewer that the minute he got back to Mars, he'd begin construction of it. Provided Dr. Hewer would tell him how to get started with it.
No, I just joshed him a little, Wilma. I told him that if he wanted to know how I was going to build the mole, he'd have to find out for himself. And that I'd do everything possible to keep him from finding out.
Then he sent the man with the camera.
Sure, and he isn't the first spy who's been around.
Well, I wonder if Barney's making any progress with his mechanical mole.
Oh, apparently, yes. Our president attended a meeting of the Council on Interplanetary Affairs there on Mars not long ago, and Barney said he was not only building the biggest and most powerful mole in the universe, but that he'd have it in operation before we'd finish with this.
Good old Barney. Leave it to him.
Yes.
Well, then, I guess this spy ain't as serious as I thought.
Look, I'll tell you what you do, Corbett.
Yes, Captain.
Do you still have that little dog of yours, the one you call Tag-Along?
I sure do, Captain. Why, he's the finest mixed-breed thoroughbred.
Well, where is this Martian's camera?
Why, right in my office at the main rocket ship hangar.
Well, then, you get hold of your dog and expose the whole reel of sensitized wire in the camera on Tag-Along digging holes in the ground.
You mean it, sir?
Yeah. Then send the man and his camera back to Mars.
Okay, Captain, whenever you say.
If Barney wants pictures of a mechanical mole, we'll see that he gets them.
That's terrific.
Well, now, let's close this metal door. These metal doors and get underway.
All right. Sergeant, we'll be in touch with you by radio from time to time. And please radio the president's office that we've started.
Yes, sir, Doctor. And be careful way down there, will you, please?
Careful?
Yes, sir. You folks are starting out in this contraption just as calm as if you were flying a rocket ship out into space.
Well,
but I'd be sort of scared.
Oh, what's there to be scared about, Cowboy?
I don't know, but be careful anyways, will you, please?
Yes, we will. Goodbye.
Bye, Cowboy.
Bye, Cowboy. Now, to travel on the surface, of course, we just use the power of the non-recoil energy projectors, like this.
Say, we're moving right along.
Yes, sir. There's plenty of power in this thing.
Well, we'll need it when we start going down into the ground. Suppose I turn on the thermic radiation projector and head us down at about a 20-degree angle.
Okay by me.
Me too.
Well, then here we go.
Boy, that heat ray really does a job.
Just say so.
Turns the ground into a boiling liquid.
I'll bet the heat from it can be felt for hundreds of feet around.
What?
I bet the heat from it can be felt for hundreds of feet around.
What did you say?
I said it's hot out there.
Lady, you certainly have a powerful pair. Hey, wait, Doctor.
I just cut off the power box. And you see this gauge? We're down over 100 feet.
What's that noise?
Sounds like steam blowing off. Something wrong in the power compartment?
No, Wilma. We've run into a stratum of water sand, that's all.
Oh.
The heat rays turn the water into steam.
No telling what we may run into down here, is there?
No.
It's really kind of risky, isn't it?
Rather go back and let Dr. Hewer and me finish the trip?
Not on your life.
Well, here we go again. Now, somewhere down here, according to soundings taken on the surface...
Yeah?
There's a deep... Look through the metallo-glass window.
Yes, Doctor?
The color of the melted stuff out there indicates we're right in the middle of it now.
In the middle of what, sir?
A deep layer of solid granite.
We're going through solid granite?
That's right, Wilma. And with no effort at all.
No, sir, Doctor.
What?
According to this gauge here, we're stopped. Stopped? Yes, sir. We haven't moved for the last 10 or 15 seconds.
Now, wait a minute.
Don't you see, Doctor?
Oh, you're right, Buck. We didn't move an inch.
Then back us out, Doctor. Back us up to the surface again.
I can't, Wilma. This machine can't move backwards.
What?
But I don't understand why a little granite should hold us this way.
When we turned off the heat ray, Doctor, it solidified around our hull.
Yes, you're right.
Well, can we get free again?
Give that heat ray all she'll take, Doctor.
Yes.
More heat. We haven't begun to move yet.
There now. It's on full.
Direct the heat back alongside our hull.
Yes, Buck. There now.
We're still not moving.
There we are. Now we're moving again.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
You see, it was necessary to melt down all the granite that had solidified around our hull.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen again. I don't mind telling you I was worried for a minute then.
Well, we're moving along now, all right. Really making time.
Yes. I doubt, Wilma, if we'll run into any strait as hard as that again.
I hope not. How far down are we now?
Must be several hundred feet, Wilma.
Yes, sir, because we're certainly traveling. Ground down here must be sort of loosely put together.
Perhaps we're in an air pocket of some sort. The depth gauge...
Say, look.
Yes?
The heat ray usually shows red out there. Now there are a lot of little bluish puffs of flame.
The Buck's right. They shoot out like long blue ribbons. Air pocket, did you say?
Oh, sir, we're running into a gas pocket.
Gas.
Why, yes.
But what if it all catches fire?
Yes, sir, if there's oxygen present down
The
here.
heat ray will be like a match inside a big gas tank.
You're right.
Look, blue flames all around us.
Gas pocket's going to explode.
Good heavens.
Look.
Here it comes. Say, that sounds pretty bad. The heat from the thermic radiation projectors made that gas pocket they ran into explode. They're deep, deep underground, beyond the reach of help.
Presenting the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. Last week, after conquering the Hawkmen with a magic torpedo, Flash Gordon was puzzled by the fact that Zarkov, running out to meet him with upraised hand, had called him friend. Queen Azura assured Flash that it had been a trick to disconcert him. Then she ordered Saul to remove the frozen prisoners to the palace and to take good care of Zarkov, particularly. Saul did as he was ordered. When Dr. Zarkov was brought back to life, he asked for Flash. And Saul told him Flash was under the spell of the Queen's drug of forgetfulness. Then Dr. Zarkov was taken to the kitchen, where he was reunited with Dale Arden, whom he comforted by his promise to use his scientific powers to aid them all. Stung by the lashes of the electric whip, Zarkov saw an opportunity for revenge and escape. The Queen's cooks were roasting the meat between two flaming electrodes. So Zarkov, getting Dale to attract their attention, jumped on a platform and turned the flaming rays of an electrode on the cooks and guards and ordered them to stand back. These thrilling adventures come to you as they are pictured each Sunday in the big full-page comic weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The big full-page comic weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. Dr. Zarkov, standing on the platform in the kitchen, the flaming ray of an electrode aimed at the chief cook and guard, is calling, "Stand back! If you take another step towards Dale Arden, I'll burn you to a crisp! Take their sauce away from them, Dale."
I've got the sauce, Dr. Zarkov.
Good. Now take away those electric whips.
I have the whip.
Can you find the keys to your monocle?
I'll see.
Stand still, you two, or I'll roast you like this carcass of meat beside me. Can you find the keys, Dale?
Yes, I've got the keys.
Undo your monocles. Now chain those two together. Around that post.
There, I have them chained. Now what shall I do?
Now we shall... Listen. What is that?
They're bringing Khan in from his cell.
Where will he be stationed for his work?
Right over there.
Splendid. Come down this way, Dale, under the ray of the electrodes. They won't notice me standing behind this machine. I will wait until they have stationed Khan, and then I will get the drop on them with the ray.
Oh, I'm so glad you came. We never would have done anything without you, Dr. Zarkov.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you. Appreciation always makes a thing worthwhile. Listen, you two. Not a word out of you. And drop to the floor. Do you hear? Drop to the floor. Ah, that's it. Quiet now. Everybody. Off.
Prisoner, step over here. You'll be chained to your station as usual. Now, prisoner, stir that soup.
Stand back from him, you dogs.
Prince Zarkov.
I am glad to see you, Captain Khan.
Not as glad as I am to see you.
Stand back there, you men. I have this electrode trained on you. One move out of you other than I direct, and I will fix you so the Queen herself would not know you from this carcass here.
Oh, isn't this wonderful, Khan?
Indeed it is, Princess.
One of you men release Captain Khan. At once. Do you hear at once, or I'll turn this ray up.
That's got him, Prince Zarkov. Just wait until these manacles get off. Oh. There. Now. Oh, but it feels good to have those things off. Now, what can I do, Prince Zarkov?
Chain those guards up like the others.
The others? Oh, I didn't see them lying over there. How did you capture them?
The same way he did these.
And then they'll chain them, just like you are going to chain those lads there.
Good work, Princess. You're a brave girl. Here, you. Hold still. There. All right. You're next. Come on, put your hands behind your back.
I'm sure you do a good job, Khan.
After what these boys have done to me, that warning is hardly necessary, Princess. All right, you. You're next.
Well, I don't know.
Here, hold still. Hold still, I said.
What is the trouble, Captain Khan? Won't he mind you? Just step back from him a little. I will give him a taste of his flaming ray.
No, turn that thing away. I'll put my hands behind my back. Thanks, Prince Zarkov. But I think one good poke in his jaw from me, and he'd have behaved. That's what you'll get if you give me any trouble, you over there.
That is right. Do not let them try anything with you.
All right. Now I'll take you. Oh, you've decided to use your head and put your hands behind your back, eh? That's good. It certainly makes it easier for both of us. There. Now, you're safe for a while.
Good. Now we are in control of the kitchen.
Let's take over the rest of the palace.
Yes, then we can escape.
Children. I see how fortunate it is that I was brought here. That would not do at all. Never do what you can get someone else to do for you.
Well, what do you mean?
We shall get control of the palace, all right. In fact, we shall have control of the whole land.
How wonderful.
But we must proceed to do one thing at a time.
Well, then, what's next?
Charles said Flash was under the spell of the Queen's drug of forgetfulness.
He did? And we were right all the time, Princess.
Yes, Khan.
So you knew that, eh?
Yes.
Then why did you not find out how it was being given to him, eh?
I did try, Prince Zarkov.
How?
I watched every morsel of food that was sent to him. It was taken from the same pans and kettles as Queen Azura's food.
Well?
And nothing was put in it, here in the kitchen.
I apologize, Captain Khan. You were not wasting your time. Well, then, if the drug was not put in the food before it left the kitchen, when was it put in?
Well, Dale served the food to Flash.
Well, what did you see when you served the food, Dale?
Both the Queen and Flash took portions of the same dishes as I passed them around. I never saw her make a motion towards them after she helped herself.
Then the drug could not have been put in the food.
Guard!
Prince Zarkov. Here comes Charles.
Guard! He is just the man we want to see.
Guard! Where are... Why, what are you doing chained like this?
Just what you will be doing if you cause us any trouble, Charles.
Oh, the prisoner. Stop. Take your hands off me.
All right. I have him securely held, Prince Zarkov.
Zarkov.
Yes, that is my name. Does it mean anything to you?
Yes, you are the great scientist, the wizard of the Earth people.
That is true.
Yes, that's who Dr. Zarkov is.
Now I understand the Queen's orders.
What were her orders?
You were to be revived with particular care.
Why, may I ask?
I see it all now. Azura appointed Flash Gordon over me as commander-in-chief of all the armies. Now she wants you carefully preserved. A fool that I am. Why couldn't I see it before?
What is he talking about? Does anybody know?
I'm sure I don't know, Princess.
Nor I. What are you talking about, Charles?
Azura plans to get rid of me. She's planning on having you to replace me.
What?
She's tired of me. She wants new faces around her. She'd give me the drug of forgetfulness if it wasn't that I am the only one who can make it for her. That's the only thing that prevents her from doing away with me.
There will be just one thing that will prevent us from doing away with you, Charles.
What's that?
You're telling us how Azura gives Flash the drug of forgetfulness.
Yes, you'd like to know that, wouldn't you?
We would.
Yes, of course, to be sure.
And what is more, we mean to find out.
Carl knows more than he will admit. Maybe he carries the drug on him.
That is an idea worth considering. Thank you, Dale.
Come and search him, Prince Zarkov.
Search if you like.
Certainly we shall search. Nothing. He has nothing on him. What is?
His sword. I think we can use it to better advantage than he can.
Tal, a while ago you pressed the point of this against my chest while I asked you questions about Flash.
Well...
One move and you would have run it through me. You said so.
And so I should...
Now I press it against your chest while I ask another question. And a wrong answer or no answer at all, and I will drive it through you like a tailor's needle through a patch of cloth.
And if his hand falters, mine will finish the job with the greatest of pleasure. Remember that, wizard.
What do you wish to know?
Tell me, how does Azura give Flash the drug of forgetfulness? Well?
Remember what I said, Tal.
He puts the drug in his Vaco.
Vaco?
His wine. That's why she keeps calling for it and proposing toast and offering it to him as refreshment.
Why, of course.
Is that true, Tal?
Yes, every day she gives it to him in a special two-handle flagon.
This?
Yes, that is the one. It has some lithium in it now.
Hey, that is the one you took to Azura by Tal's order soon after they brought me here.
Yes.
So that is how Flash has been given the drug.
Oh, I've been giving it to him myself.
Yes, you have been drugging your own sweetheart and keeping him from recognizing you.
Will Flash ever forgive me?
Why, of course, Princess. You didn't know you were giving him the drug.
I'll never take any more in.
Oh, yes, you will.
What?
Just once more.
That night, when the eyes of the dragon flash, the signal that Queen Azura wishes more Vaco brought in, Dale takes in the tray with the same two flagons as before.
Ah, here comes the Vaco, my prince. And the slave girl is more prompt than usual.
So she is, my queen. I'm glad of it. My throat's dry.
Help yourself, Flash. The two-handled flagon is yours, you know.
Yes, I'll get it, Azura. Thanks.
No, wait.
Eh?
What is the meaning of this presumption, slave? Flash, Azura has drugged your Vaco. You lie, slave.
What are you saying, girl?
In that two-handled flagon is lithium, the drug of forgetfulness. Oh, pay no attention to the girl, Flash. She must be mad. Don't touch that flagon. Every time you have emptied it, Flash, you have renewed this wicked queen's power over you. She has caused you to forget who I am, who you are, Flash. Don't listen to her. I'll have her drawn and quartered for this. Oh, God! It won't do you any good to call for your guards, Azura. They won't answer you. Flash, tell me you don't believe what this slave is saying.
Well, it seems hard to believe.
It is a lie. A lie. Here, Flash, take this flagon. If she has not drugged it, then let her drink from it.
Yes. Here, Azura. Drink this and prove that the slave girl is wrong.
Flash, you don't believe me, and I thought you loved me. Don't listen to her, Flash. Words mean nothing. Get her to drink from the flagon.
Of course she'll drink from it. Won't you, Azura? Here.
No, I will not touch your drink.
What?
There, you see? She won't drink it. It's drugged, just as I told you.
I cow. Azura, I believe you did drug my drink. We'll soon find out. Now, swallow this.
No.
Swallow it.
Oh, I can't remember anything. Where am I? What happened? Who am I? Who am I?
Oh, it's true, Dale.
Yes, Flash, darling. He's been drugging you.
Yes, Flash. What? The man who called me friend. Charles says this medicine should bring back your memory. If you have not been under the influence of the lithium too long, drink this.
Quickly, Flash.
Yes, quickly, Flash. Drink.
Has Flash been under the influence of the Queen's magic drug too long? What will happen now? Are you following the picture version of these thrilling adventures in the big full-page comic weekly, which is distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper? In order to completely enjoy the radio program, you should know what Flash Gordon and Dale Arden look like. And Paul, Dr. Zarkov, Queen Azura, Khan, and all the other amazing characters who appear in the series. You will find them all vividly portrayed in full-colored action pictures each Sunday in the big Comic Weekly. And only in the Comic Weekly, the world's foremost collection of humor and adventure, is now published in full-page sizes, not a tabloid, and is just crammed full of the funniest merrymakers and the most daring adventurers in the world of pictures. So be sure that you get the big full-page Comic Weekly next Sunday with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Get acquainted with all the characters and be ready next week at the same time for another chapter in the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
While the famed American scientist Dr. Millison works feverishly to develop an atomic detector able to recognize the presence of Superman's deadliest enemy, kryptonite, which robs the Man of Steel of his strength if he ventures within 10 feet of it, Nazi Germany's evil genius, Der Teufel, has made good use of the piece of kryptonite he stole from the Scarlet Widow. At this very moment, a young man presenting himself as Henry Miller has secured a reporter's job on the Daily Planet. In actuality, Miller is Teufel's Atom Man, a human monster in whose veins flows a kryptonite solution that, with the aid of metallic gloves and an electronic converter, can generate enough atomic energy to subdue the world. But the Atom Man has orders first to find and destroy Superman, protector of truth and justice. As you remember, Miller unknowingly met Superman in his guise of Clark Kent in Lois Lane's office at the Daily Planet. There, a strange thing happened. Even without the aid of the metal gloves and converter, the kryptonite in the Atom Man's veins weakened and dazed Kent. Worried and concerned at what seemed to be Kent's irrational condition, Lois called a man who operates a rest for him.
Mr. Grady, you've got to help me. We have a reporter here at the office who seems to have had a nervous breakdown. Yes, he's definitely irrational. Well, I'd suggest you send 2 attendants up to get him, because I'm certain he'll resist once he learns he's being...
As we continue now, Kent and Lois are with Editor Perry White in the latter's office. Lois is making every effort to humor Kent, while waiting for the rest farm attendants to arrive, and winking at Perry White to make him understand.
Of course you're all right, Clark. There's nothing the matter with you. Nothing.
What are you winking at me for?
Winking? Winking, Chief?
You heard me, winking.
Maybe there's something wrong with you, Lois. You're nervous as a cat.
Oh, nervous? Well, I'm as calm as a kitten.
And then, for the love of Pete, stop winking at me. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, Chief, sometimes you're an obtuse fool.
Oh, what did you say?
Now, look, Lois,
What did you say, Miss Lane? What kind of a fool am I?
An obtuse fool. O-B-T-U-S-E. It means dull and stupid.
Oh, come now,
You
Lois,
keep out of this, Kent. You don't work here anymore. And from this moment on, young lady, neither do you. You're fired.
Again.
This time it's for keeps. This time What's that?
Your inter-office phone.
Who asked you? Yes? What is it?
Mr. Grady's men are out here to see Miss Lane.
Who's Mr. Grady?
Oh, tell Miss Backrack to send them in, will you, Chief?
I will not. What do you think this office is, a cattle ranch?
All right, I'll do it myself.
Why of all this... You keep those men out of this office. This is my office, and I won't have it filling up with every dumb Dick and Harry.
Okay, Bob, take it easy. It's a nice day out. How about coming for a walk, huh?
Are you crazy?
No, he ain't, Bob. Take his arm, Charlie. Okay.
Let go of me, you goose.
Wait a minute. That's the wrong one. It's that one.
Who, me?
Yes, Clark. These gentlemen want to take you for a walk. A walk in the sunshine.
Yeah, with the birds and the bees and the squirrels.
Quiet down, Charlie. Come on, pal. We ain't gonna hurt you.
Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Lois, can you explain this?
Well, you see, Clark, it's, this way. I don't think you're very well. And,
you don't think...
Well, I just arranged for you to go and rest. Well, that's all it is, really. Isn't that so, gentlemen?
Yeah, sure. You're gonna get a nice long rest, pal. Take his arm, Charlie.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. This is what I think it is.
We'll do all the thinking, pal. That's what we get paid for. Come on.
Just a minute, please.
We're in kind of a hurry, pal. Now, are you gonna come along quiet-like, or do we have to make with the business?
You mind if I ask who you two individuals are?
I'll explain later, Chief.
Nobody's interested in your explanation.
Look, Pop, don't get in our hair. That's all we gotta say. Just don't get in our hair.
I'll get in more than your hair before I'm through.
Wait a minute. Lois, do you think I'm crazy?
No, Clark, but I do
Grab him,
think...
Charlie. He's half...
Okay.
Cut that out. Now, cut it out, I said.
This is terrible.
Grab another arm, Charlie.
You let go of it.
Get off me, you idiot.
Let go of it, Lois. Let go. Lois, do something. I know what you've got to do something.
Unable to reveal his true strength, Clark Kent decides to submit as the two attendants force him out of the office, despite Perry White's frantic protests. Meanwhile, in a shabby basement room in the heart of Metropolis, Henry Miller, the Atom Man, is reporting to his creator, De Teufel.
As I say, getting the job at the Daily Planet was nothing. Making contact with Superman is going to be another matter.
You made, of course, some preliminary inquiries.
I questioned a young reporter named Olson, but he couldn't give me much information. He referred me to a Miss Lane.
Yeah, Lois Lane. A very clever young woman. You spoke with her?
Well, not really. Clark Kent came in just at that time.
Clark Kent? Yeah, I know him well. Now listen to me. They have given you a reporter's card?
Yes.
Good. Unfortunately, I will not be able to keep in very close contact with you, at least until Superman is in your power. Not only the police and the FBI, but hired gunmen in the employ of the Scarlet Widow are looking for me. Therefore, it will be necessary for you to operate on your own. You are not afraid, are you?
With the metal gloves and the converter in my pocket, I'm not afraid of anyone, Teufel.
Spoken well, my Atom Man. Spoken well. Now, here is what you will do. The editorial offices of the Daily Planet are almost deserted following the printing of the final edition at 7 o'clock in the evening. That much I know. Tonight, between 7 and 8, you will go to the Planet and carefully search the desks of the editor, Miss Lane, and Clark Kent for any information you can find that will lead you to contacting Superman.
And if I find no such information?
I feel certain you will learn something at the offices of the Daily Planet. Perhaps enough to accomplish what has been my dream for years.
What's that?
To bring the great and powerful Superman to his knees. To see him groveling before me begging for mercy. To watch him die. Slowly and painfully. Go, my Atom Man. Go and do this thing for me.
Gloating even before the kill, De Teufel, his half-crazed mind alive with the thought of subduing the American symbol of truth and decency, sends his deadly, monstrous Atom Man on the way. We'll return in a moment to learn what happens in the darkened offices of the Daily Planet. But right now, here's a word from your announcer.
You know, gang, you're missing out on something the other kids are having a lot of fun with, unless you're collecting those new comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep. You're going to be out in the cold when the fellows and girls compare notes and tell how many different buttons they've collected so far and swap their duplicates. So better hop to it. There are 18 different buttons in this new comic strip series, you know, each one with a speaking likeness of one of your favorite funny sheet characters. And the best part is, you don't have to send in a single penny for these sharp new comic buttons, not even a box top. Fact is, you can't buy them anywhere, but you can ask Mom to get you a package of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside each package, there's a thrilling prize, one of these bright new comic buttons or a military insignia or warplane button. Remember, that's P-E-P, Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. And now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Unable to reveal his supernatural strength in the presence of Lois Lane and editor Perry White, Clark Kent decided to submit to being placed in a straitjacket and taken to a rest farm, all because Lois believes he has become temporarily irrational. It is now 7 o'clock in the evening. Off in the distance, a steeple bell tolls the hour. Left alone for the first time since he was carried into the rest farm, Kent studies the small room he is in.
Well, the door's locked and bolted, but those iron bars on the window shouldn't be too difficult to bend. I'll fix Lois for this one of these fine days. First off with these clothes. Irrational, am I? You'll make a public apology to me, Miss Lane, before I'm through. There, that does it. Now, to tackle those bars as Superman. I don't want to break them, just bend them enough to get out and bend them back. No sense letting them suspect who they had here. Let's see now, these two should do it. There we are. Should be able to squeeze through that opening. Well, here goes. So, made it. Not by much. Now to get the bars back in shape. They'll be puzzling this out for a long time to come, those two dodo birds who brought me here. So, set straight as a die. Now where? Let's see, it's a little after 7. Nobody at the office now. I think I'll drop in and leave a note for Jimmy. Got to be able to contact someone at the office.
Up, and away! Leaping into the darkened sky, Superman wings to the heart of the city. And bare moments later, drops down on the 20th story ledge of his own office window.
Now, this is a lot faster than elevators. Up with the window. And inside. I'd better leave the note in an envelope or someone may think it's That's funny. There's a man in Lois's office rummaging through her desk. Great Scott, it's that new reporter the chief hired. Miller. I'll teach him to go through other people's desks. Give him the scare of his life.
Having a good time, my friend?
Superman.
Well, is that all you've got to say?
No. I'll have something more to say in just a minute. Yes, plenty more to say.
Startled at having suddenly come face to face with the one person he has traveled 4,000 miles to find, Henry Miller's hands slip into the pockets of his jacket, reaching for the metal mesh gloves and electronic converter that will transform him from an ordinary human being into a destructive monster, an Atom Man. He can scarcely believe his good fortune, scarcely believe that the broad-shouldered costumed figure standing in the doorway is the object of his search, and Superman, unaware of what he is in for, looks on. What will happen? The man of atoms and the man of steel face one another now. This is the vital moment. So don't fail to hear tomorrow's tense, exciting episode when only a miracle saves Superman from destruction. Tune in, same time, same station tomorrow for the further adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday. Same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Using a solution of intensely radioactive kryptonite, which is Superman's mortal enemy, a brilliant but crazed Nazi scientist named Der Teufel created an atomic monster able to generate tremendous destructive power within his body. Teufel sent the human monster, a young American-educated German using the name Henry Miller, to America, where, as his first assignment, he was to find and conquer Superman. Speaking perfect English, Miller secured a position as a reporter on the Daily Planet and was introduced to Clark Kent, who, as we all know, is in reality Superman. In the presence of the kryptonite in Miller's blood, Kent became momentarily dazed and irrational. Believing that he was losing his mind, Lois Lane had him taken to a rest farm, from where the Man of Steel escaped that evening. Returning to the seemingly deserted Planet office, he found Miller rifling Lois's desk and challenged him.
Having a good time, my friend?
Superman.
Well, is that all you've got to say?
No. I'll have something more to say in just a moment.
Quickly, Miller's hands dart into his jacket pockets, fumbling for the metal mesh gloves and electronic throat converter that will transform him into a deadly Atom Man. And unaware of his great danger, Superman stands in the doorway, arms akimbo, a disdainful smile playing about his lips.
You're reaching for a gun, Miller. You're wasting your time.
You see what I'm...
Miss Lane, if Mr. Kent
Someone's coming, just my luck.
Don't move, Miller. Stay where you are.
Jim, I've never seen any... Jim, look. Superman.
Good evening, Lois. Jim?
Well, leaping lizards. What are you doing here, Superman?
I caught this man rifling your desk.
What man? Why, it's Henry Miller.
He's our new reporter.
I can explain.
Stay where you are.
As you wish. Superman is making a great to-do about nothing, Miss Lane. I missed my gold cigarette case at dinner. It's quite valuable, and I happen to be very fond of it. I thought that I might have left it in my desk, so I came back for it. This is my first day at the Planet, you know, and in the dim light, I must have mistaken your office for mine.
What's that?
Yes, my office is right next to Miss Lane.
That's Clark Kent's
he's
office.
right,
Oh, no.
Superman. No, he's right. Clark has been acting very strange lately, staying away from the office for days at a time. And Perry White finally got fed up and fired him, and he hired Mr. Miller to take his place.
So that's it.
Yeah, and it's a dirty trick if you ask me.
Well, it looks as if I owe you an apology, Mr. Miller.
Oh, that's quite all right. I can see where my being in Miss Lane's office looks suspicious.
It was a perfectly natural mistake.
Hey, what's cooking, Superman? How'd you happen to be here tonight?
Oh, why, I dropped in to see Kent.
To see Kent?
Yes,
Are you and he working on something together?
Well, in a way, Jim.
That's very interesting.
Is it, Mr. Miller?
Why, you're a very famous person. Kent must be very clever to work with.
Why, he sure is. I think Miss Lane would know it by this time. But no, she makes up her mind he's seeing things and has him sent away to arrest for him.
Now, Jim, I did it for his own good. As I said, Clark has been acting very strange. And this afternoon, right in this office, you were here, Jim. And you too, Mr. Miller.
I remember.
He became positively irrational. He seemed dazed, and he said a lot of things that just didn't make any sense at all.
Well, so what? He probably had something on his mind.
Of course. Kent's as sane as I am, Miss Lane. You had no right to send him away.
There, you see, Miss Lane?
I did it for his own good, Jim. I thought I'd get a lot of good out of a stay at the Grady Rest Farm.
You are much too hasty. I'll see that he's released.
Oh, you will?
Yes, at once.
I've got to be running along. A friend of mine is waiting for me. That is, if you're quite satisfied, I'm not a deadly criminal, Superman.
Well, Miss Lane and I both seem to have been a bit hasty today. Sorry, Miller. No hard feelings, I hope.
None at all. This has been a most instructive evening. Most instructive.
What do you mean?
Meeting Superman and all that. Well, good night, everyone.
Good night, Miller.
Right.
Are you going to the rest farm and get Mr. Kent out now, Superman?
What? Oh, yes, Jim. I'll just sit down a moment.
Hey, what's the matter, Superman?
Matter?
Yes, don't you feel well?
Is something wrong with you?
Wrong? I don't know.
Alarmed, Lois and Jimmy stare at the broad-shouldered man of steel who sits heavily in a chair, his eyes slightly glazed, and a strange weakness flowing through his body. He hears Lois and Jimmy dimly.
What is it, Superman?
Yo, what's the matter?
As from the back of his mind, a voice, his own voice, speaks to the man of steel.
This strange weakness. It's the same as when you were in the presence of the kryptonite.
Superman, say something.
What's wrong?
Yes, what is wrong? It happened just like this earlier today. Right here in Miss Lane's office. You were feeling all right.
What's the matter?
And suddenly this terrible weakness.
Are you ill?
Can we do something?
No, thanks. I'll be all right.
Can't understand. There's no kryptonite around here.
Drink that water, Jim.
Okay. Gosh, I can't understand it.
I can't understand it. Neither can you. What's happening? Are there other things? Things beside kryptonite that can weaken you?
Would you like me to call a doctor?
Doctor? No, of course not.
Wait. That ring on Lois's finger. Look at it. A green stone. Milky green. Right, Scott, perhaps it's...
Here, drink this water, Superman.
Oh, thanks, Jim.
There. Do you feel any better?
Oh, yes, thanks, much.
That ring. It may be...
Oh, don't try to get up yet.
Rest a little bit longer.
Oh, I'm all right now. Quite all right. Excuse me, Lois, will you? Come into Kent's office a moment, will you, Jim?
Oh, sure, you bet.
Shall I come too?
No, stay where you are, please. We'll be just a moment.
Gosh, what is it, Superman? What happened?
Close the door, Jim.
Oh, sure.
Now, listen. Would you like to do something for me?
Oh, golly, sure. Of course. What is it?
Miss Lane is wearing a new ring. It has a green stone.
A green stone?
Yes. It's on the little finger of her left hand. I want you to get it for me.
You want me to get Miss Lane's ring?
That's right.
Why? What for?
Never mind. I'm asking this as a personal favor. Will you do it?
Well, sure.
Then take it to Dr. John Millison. His laboratory is in the science building at Metropolis University.
Well, I know where it is. I took something there from Mr. Kent a few days ago. But why...
Never mind the questions. Just get the ring and rush it to Dr. Millison. Tell Miss Lane I admired it and want to copy it or something.
Oh, okay, I'll get it.
Good.
But are you going to get Mr. Kent out of that rest for him?
You take care of the ring and I'll take care of Kent. Is that a deal?
Oh, it sure is, and thanks a million. I'm awful worried about him.
Oh, my.
What?
Oh, nothing, Jim. Just get Miss Lane's ring to Dr. Millison as fast as you can. So long now.
Oh, wait, the door isn't that way.
This window will do. So long, Jim. Up, and away!
Leaping into the dark, star-filled sky, the Man of Steel streaks from the planet building and heads for Metropolis University to await Jimmy's arrival with Lois Lane's ring. Is it possible that someone has given Lois a ring with a stone made of kryptonite? We'll know in a moment, so keep listening. But right now, here's a word from your announcer.
You know, the other day I heard of a family with 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. And they're all collecting the new comic buttons that come as prizes in packages of Kellogg's Pep. At first, they all used to dive in for the button whenever Mom opened a package of Pep, but that didn't work out very well, so now they take turns. Of course, since there are 5 of them, they eat a lot of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, so their turns come up pretty often. Then, if they happen to get duplicates, they exchange them with each other. And you know what? Each one of those kids has already collected 5 different buttons. And are they enthusiastic about the colorful, true-to-life pictures of their favorite funny sheet friends? Anybody would be. Why, Moon Mullen's eyes are popping, just like in the funny papers, and Herbie has his books under his arm, and Superman looks as if he's going to say any minute, up, and away. You know how he says it. Anyway, altogether there are 18 different buttons, you know, and they're easy to collect. You don't have to send in a single penny, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere. You just ask Mom to get you some of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside each package, there's an exciting prize, one of these new comic buttons or a military insignia or warplane button. That's P-E-P, Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
In the laboratory of Dr. John Millison, Superman stands some 20 feet away from the white-haired scientist who is examining Lois Lane's ring under a microscope. Evidently satisfied, Millison leaves his stool and approaches the Man of Steel, who steps back hurriedly.
Wait, Doctor. Don't come near me.
It's all right, Superman. This ring didn't cause those weak spells.
It didn't? You mean...
The stone isn't kryptonite. It's a type of milky jade.
Jade? Well, then why did I start to lose my strength twice today in Miss Lane's office? I felt exactly as I did when I was near the kryptonite.
That's strange.
I don't understand it. Not being able to understand it, I'm worried. If things like this keep happening...
Don't lose your head, my boy.
But, Doctor, nothing else in the world can affect me like that. Nothing but kryptonite. Doctor, I think Der Teufel has begun his plot against me.
Wait a minute.
I can't wait any longer. The only thing that can save me now is the atomic detector you're developing for me. With that to warn me of the approach of the kryptonite, I'll at least be able to get away before it overcomes me. You said it would be ready this evening, is it?
No, and it may never be.
What? What do you mean?
I'd gladly give 10 years of my life if I didn't have to say this, Superman, but... Well, we ran into difficulties just when we thought the detector was completed.
You mean?
We haven't been able to solve the problem yet, and frankly, well, I don't know if we ever will be able to.
Great Scott. What can I do now? What can I do?
Helplessly, Superman stares at Dr. Millison, his one last hope of protection against the kryptonite seemingly gone. And unknown to the Man of Steel, the danger he fears is even closer to him than he suspects, due to an error he himself made in Lois Lane's office. At this very moment, Henry Miller, the dread Atom Man, is in a telephone booth, conveying an important message to the brilliant, half-mad Nazi scientist at the other end of the wire.
Teufel, it is I, Miller. We have nothing to worry about from now on. Yes, that's right. Well, I made a wonderful discovery tonight. I know exactly how to contact Superman whenever you decide to get rid of him. Of course I know what I'm saying. Yes, I'll be right over. Goodbye.
What does the Atom Man mean? How can he contact Superman at will? Every moment is tense now, fellows and girls, as the greatest menace the world has ever known draws closer to the Man of Steel and to all civilization. Don't fail to be with us Monday for a thrill a minute as Teufel and the Atom Man close in. Be sure to listen, same time, same station, to the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday. Same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with
Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars. We take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet. Venus is ablaze with excitement, for the planet is playing host to all humanity in a giant universe-wide exposition of peace and progress. At the opening ceremonies at Venusport, a huge time capsule is about to be lowered into the ground, and Space Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning, assigned as honor guards for the occasion, listen as Captain Strong finishes his speech to the assembled crowd.
And so we dedicate this capsule to the civilizations of the future. Those who may dig this cylinder out of the earth in the ages to come will find within it the tools, the inventions, the scientific wonders which have made the era of the Solar Alliance one of peace and prosperity. Lower the capsule.
Hey, some speech, Tom. I wonder who wrote it for him. He wrote it himself, Roger. Go on. Sure, sweated over it for 2 weeks. Here he comes now. That was great, sir. Everybody really listened, even me. Congratulations, Captain Strong. It was swell.
Well, thank you, boys. Are you coming over to the Solar Alliance banquet tonight?
A banquet? You mean more speeches?
I'm afraid so. But say, why don't you boys stay here on the exposition ground? Take some rides, see the sights, win yourself some carnival prizes. But don't spend all your credits at the first booth.
Don't worry, sir.
Well, so long, boys. And win a Venusian Cupid doll for me.
Goodbye, Captain. What a great guy. Yeah. Well, Junior, the night is young, and we've got 12 hours liberty with a small-scale model of the whole solar system to have fun in. Come on, space boy, let's go.
Hurry. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Step right up. It's the thrill of a lifetime. The most spine-tingling ride in the entire exposition. Step right into the rocket ship. Blast off into space for a voyage of 1,000 miles. It's only 1 credit, ladies and gentlemen. 1 small credit. So step right up into the rocket ship.
Hey, Tom, what do you say we go? What, on that right? Oh, why not? Oh, that hulk should have been shipped back to the furnace years ago. So what? Scared, Junior? Don't be silly. But with all the things they've got to do here, Uh-oh, now I get it. What are you talking about? Those girls that just got on by themselves. Now I see why you're so anxious. Girls? What do you know? I never even noticed. I'll bet you didn't. Honest. But they are a couple of space dolls, Junior. Come on, let's get some tickets.
5 more seats, ladies and gentlemen. 5 more opportunities to leap like a gazelle into outer space.
2, please.
2 tickets for the space cadets who live in the great velvet skies. Just can't stay away from it, eh, boys?
I only hope that old tub of yours can make it.
Shut up, wise guy. Yes, Cadet, I agree with you. Everyone should take this trip into space.
But that's not what I said.
Only 3 tickets left, only 3. Away, boy, you bother me. Who'll be the lucky 3?
Come on, Roger, let's go.
Hurry.
Hey, right.
Yeah, everything's set?
Yeah, let's blast off.
I'll be with you as soon as I sell these last 3 tickets, Morgan.
I said we blast off, you fool. How long do you want to hang around for just a couple of credits? We gotta dump the stuff.
Okay. I'm just as anxious to get to that time capsule as you are.
Sure. But we've been digging a tunnel to it. We gotta get rid of the dirt, which takes time, so for Pete's sake, Rice, let's get going.
Okay. You know, Morgan, I still can't quite believe it that the formula for opening energy locks is inside that thing.
It is, though. Those space-happy scientists were so worried about the future, they put one of their biggest secrets inside the capsule. The master formula for every energy lock in the universe.
I gotta hand it to you. This is terrific. Why, when they invented the energy lock, it wiped out big-time robbery.
Yeah, that's right. But every safe and bank vault in the universe will be our oyster once we got that secret.
I can hardly wait.
You won't have to wait much longer. Very soon now, the Solar Guard's going to get one big headache. The biggest they've ever had.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets in just a moment, so stand by.
Well, that's a sorry sound. It's a rocket cruiser trying to blast off, but it can't. Somebody forgot to fuel up that cruiser, and without rocket fuel, that ship will never get off the ground. Now, here's another rocket cruiser. This one is different. This one is fueled up with the right amount of rocket energy. Boy, listen to that cruiser blast off and rocket through space. Yes, thanks to a good supply of rocket fuel, that ship is really going to go places. And spacemen, you can have the blast-off power to go places, too, if you remember to fuel up in the morning with Kellogg's Pep. You see, Kellogg's Pep is that swell-tasting build-up wheat cereal that gives you lots of food energy. And you can really use that energy when you're rocketing through the day at full space speed. But that's not all. When you eat Pep, you get lots of food values to help build strong bones, tough muscles, and healthy teeth. And say, spaceman, just wait till you dig into a heaping bowl full of Kellogg's Pep. You like the mouth-watering taste of those rich golden brown flakes. Pep's swell whole wheat and malt flavor will have you asking for more. Covered with milk and sugar, Kellogg's Pep is a breakfast fit for a spaceman. And remember, while you're enjoying Pep's delicious flavor, you're giving yourself a real food energy blast-off. It's no wonder, then, that Kellogg's Pep is declared the spaceman cereal. Kellogg's Pep.
Tom Corbett and Roger Manning are at the Venusian Interplanetary Exposition, and on the Midway they see an old tub of a rocket ship. Amusement features which offers short trips into space. Roger spots a couple of pretty girls buying tickets for the ride, and persuading Tom to go along is all settled for an interesting evening. But neither of the boys knows about the sinister project which the concessionaires who run the ship have underway.
Everything all set, Morgan?
Yeah, one more shot of thrust and we're out of Venus's atmosphere. Then we can unload the stuff.
Okay, here we go. That ought to take us up around 1,000 miles.
Okay. Set it on automatic. Then come aft and give me a hand. And don't forget to tell all the suckers to stay in their seats. We don't want them getting nosy. I'm getting restless doing nothing, Tom. Guess I'll go up and throw a little charm at those dolls. By the crater of Luna, what's that? The rocket's cut out. I hope we're in free fall out beyond the gravity pull.
Take it easy, folks. Nothing to get alarmed about. We're in free fall around the planet. Just sit back and enjoy the view.
Well, what's up, mister?
Nothing we can't take care of. Relax.
Come on, Tom. Let's give him a hand. If you'll just show us where
Sit down. We don't need any cadet punks getting in the way.
Why, you overweight space jockey, I know more about rocket ships than you'll ever learn.
One more crack and I'll blast your ears off. Now sit down.
Hey, don't
Take
stop
it easy,
me.
Roger.
He's the skipper of this boiler, and in space, he's boss.
You bet I am. Now keep your bloody quiet or I'll report both of you to the academy.
Hey, right. Come on. We gotta fix that reactor unit.
Yeah, I'm coming. Now just take it easy, folks. We'll be back on Venus in less than an hour.
You ought to know better than that, Roger. A skipper is a skipper, even aboard a piece of junk. Yeah, but I don't like to be called a punk. Why, I know more about reactor units than reactor units? Sure. Didn't you hear what the fella said? But this is a chemical fuel burner, Roger. Why an atomic unit? It might be a booster for extra speed or power. Well, a simple little hop, hardly out of atmosphere. No, Roger, there's something strange about this.
Hey, it is funny.
Here's another thing I've been wondering about. They charge 1 credit for this ride, which means a total of about 50 credits for a capacity load.
And it costs at least 200 to get one of these jalopies off the ground.
Roger, you stay here. I'll try to sneak a look at. You just don't pass out free rides in space, but that's exactly what these guys are doing.
Spot anything aft, Tom?
I'm not sure, Roger. All I could see was a dust cloud.
Well, that's no help. Tom, I'll bet they're smuggling.
What?
That's it. I'll bet it is. The concession is just a phony to cover up their smuggling. Lets them take a load of stuff up without a customs search. Then, when they're far enough out...
They can dump it in free fall.
Right, for someone else to pick up later.
Stand by for deceleration. Coming in for touchdown. Secure your seat straps.
Roger, notice how the ship's handling?
What do you mean?
Well, going out, she wallowed like an old tub full of freight. Now, well, she's no feather, but there's certainly a big difference.
Then they did dump something in space.
I'm sure of it, Roger. And as soon as we get off, let's find out what it was.
Hey, Morgan, hurry up, will you? It'll be daylight soon.
I'm taking it as fast as I can. You realize, Vice, one more bag of dirt and we can reach the capsule?
There, I'll give you a hand.
All right. There. We got it on the lift. Now turn on the juice and let's right up to the top.
Okay.
We can load the dirt right out of the ship.
Right. Get the cutting torches at the same time to burn into the capsule with. This has been quite a job, Morgan. I only hope it pays off.
Don't worry. It will. Now, come on. We got a heavy date with a payroll.
See anything, Rod?
No. It's pretty dark over there by that office.
We've been watching that shack of theirs all night. I can't understand why nothing's happened.
They're asleep, Junior, which would have been a good idea for us, too.
I guess you're right.
Roger, look. What? The door's opening, see? Keep down. One of them's coming out. Yeah. Tom, that guy's all bent over, carrying something on his back.
Looks like a heavy bag.
Come on. Where?
If we stay in the shack, we can get a lot closer to that shack. Maybe get a peep through the window and see what's going on.
One more load like that, I'd have fallen on my face.
I got the torches. Let's get down the shaft right now and open up the capsule. I'll raise the trapdoor.
Okay. Step aboard the lift.
All set. Roll the switch, Morgan.
Hey, Junior, did you see what I saw through that window?
I certainly did. Those characters have dug a shaft right under this shack.
But why? What's down there? Tom, we better report to the solar guys.
We ought to know more before we do that. Let's get down that shaft, Roger, fast.
How much longer to get that capsule open?
Ought to be inside another minute or two. Can't apply too much heat or I'll burn up the contents.
All right, but come on, come on.
Relax. We're 300 feet underground. Who's going to bother us?
How you doing, Roger?
Okay. But sliding down this rope is no picnic, even though Venus gravity isn't as strong as Earth.
Keep your voice down.
I see a ball of light down below us.
I know what we're going to find when we get to the bottom of this thing.
You do?
Yeah. A white rabbit. This is the hole Alice in Wonderland fell into.
Just a little more, and then...
Come on, will you? Come on.
There she is. I'll cut the torch. Now, a couple of hammer taps against this metal section. There she is.
Ah, yes. Look at that stuff. They've packed everything in here but an atomic sink.
You know where the formula is?
It should be down here. Near the bottom someplace.
I got it. Oh, brother.
Let me see. That's a spool of audio tape.
Right. You see this label? A history of nuclear energy as applied to industrial processes and equipment.
Well, that don't say nothing about energy locks.
This is it, I tell you. Rice, this little roll of plastic is going to tell us how to open every energy lock ever built. There isn't a bank vault or a rocket ship safe we can't break into.
Are you sure, Morgan? Dead sure?
Absolutely. The only thing between us and more credit than we can spend in a dozen lifetimes is the half hour we'll need to listen to this tape. Careful, Roger. Don't trip. Watch yourself. Don't worry about me. We still can't figure what those guys are. Roger. There's a light coming from around that bend in the tunnel. We better get back. No place to go. We'll have to make a fight of it. Okay, by me. Spaceman's luck.
All we have to do now is seal off the top of the shaft, dump that last load of dirt.
Now, Roger!
Get back, boys! Hey, Roger, watch out! He's got a ring!
I know how to use it.
Oh, Roger! All right, Cadet, if you want to stay and try something.
Those cadets, the ones that got nosy on the ship.
They won't get nosy anymore.
What are you going to do with them?
Not a thing. Except seal out the top of the shaft and leave him.
But that's murder.
Oh, I don't know. It all depends on when somebody comes along and digs up the time capsule. Because as soon as somebody does, they'll find you, too.
Sure, kid. It shouldn't take a day longer than 10,000 years.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
You know, a short time ago, Roger Manning was assigned the job of plotting a shorter course to Jupiter. Well, it was a dangerous assignment because the proposed course cut through an asteroid field littered with space junk. Space Academy made a special tele-recording of this operation. Here's a portion of it.
Radar bridge, Manning speaking. Those radar signals you hear are space junk on the loose. The next few seconds will tell whether my calculations are correct. We're going to rocket right by an extra large mass of space junk. You can hear the signal getting louder. But thanks to my space goggles, we should miss it. You see, these space goggles protect my eyes against the flashing lights of the radar scope. Wearing them, I can concentrate and plot an accurate course. They're made of one sweeping curved piece of colored plastic, and they fit over both eyes. You'll want to wear them for protection against the glaring sun and heavy winds. Uh-oh. Hold on now. Here comes that space junk. It can make space dust out of this rocket cruiser. I sure hope my calculations are correct. Suffering Saturn. If my calculations were off by just 1 degree, this telerecording would have really been at an end. My space goggles did it again. So, spacemen, if you want a pair, be sure and write down the instructions you'll hear. End transmission.
Spaceman, send 1 box top from Kellogg's Pep, 25 cents, and your name and address. That's 1 box top from Kellogg's Pep, 25 cents, and your name and address. Send it to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Send for your space goggles today. And tomorrow morning, start off your day with a spaceman's breakfast, Kellogg's Pep.
Attempting to discover what is behind the suspicious actions of Eddie Morgan and Bill Rice, Tom and Roger follow the 2 unscrupulous men to the bottom of a deep shaft, hundreds of feet below their innocent-looking office building in the middle of the Venusport Exposition. But what they have seemingly found is a death trap for themselves.
Roger, for Pete's sake. Come on, Roger, wake up. What? Tom, take it easy now. Can you get up?
My noggin hurts. Feels like it's splitting.
From the size of that bump where Morgan hit you, you look like you've got 2 noggins.
Where are those guys now?
Back on top to seal up the shaft. Try to walk. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, I guess.
Well, get ready for work, Roger. We've got a long climb in front of us.
Climb? How?
They took the lift, so we've got to get out the same way we came in, on the rope, hand over hand.
We'll never make it.
We've got to try. Maybe with Venus gravity. Roger. If that's what I think it is...
Way ahead of you, space boy. Let's cut the ropes and let the lift drop. The only thing that'll get us out of here now is a pair of wings. your breath, Roger. No one can hear you. Besides, they probably sealed over the top by now.
I guess you're right. There was only some way we could get a message out if we even had a communicator.
Well, we haven't, so... Roger, we're a pair of fools.
Speak for yourself, Junior. What do you mean?
The capsule, you dummy. Come on. Here we are.
What are you doing, rummaging around in there?
Looking for something. And here it is.
A portable belt communicator.
Right, part of the scientific equipment put into the capsule to show the men of the future how we communicated with one another.
Well, blast my jet.
No, Roger, not yours. Morgan's and Rice's. This belt communicator is the first step in getting them on a prison asteroid. And after vainly attempting to attract attention by yelling, Cadets Roger Manning and Tom Corbett searched the capsule and found the belt communicator, enabling them to summon aid. Signed, Roger Manning and Tom Corbett, Cadets, Polaris Unit, Space Academy.
I still don't know if that little bit of foolishness doesn't deserve 50 demerits. Of all the space-brained idiots.
Oh, we had to find out what they were doing, Captain Strong.
Oh, did you?
Why, yes, sir. Didn't we?
Cadets, I know this will come as a shock to you, but at Space Academy, has anyone ever told you to solve all problems single-handedly?
Why, I guess not, Captain Strong.
All right. Next time, get help.
Yes, sir. Have they found out what those two wanted from the time capsule?
Not yet. But at Solar Guard headquarters, they're afraid they can guess, and if they're right... Well, that may be the report now. Just a moment. Captain Strong here. Yes, Colonel? I see. Nothing else taken. And no reports on the men. Thank you.
Captain, is it bad news?
Yes, boys. There's a spool of audio tape missing from the time capsule.
Audio tape? That's bad?
So bad that the entire Solar Guard is being alerted to capture those two men.
Well, what's it about, sir?
The secret of the energy lock is in their hands. We've got to find those two, or there's not a secret, not a treasure anywhere in the universe that's safe.
Don't miss the next action-packed episode with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when Tom and Roger find themselves in a battle with space piracy in Part 2 of Pursuit of Danger. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, and Ivor Francis. Today's program was written by Richard Jessup and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Begg speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and Bran Flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender. The Bran Flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and Bran Flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Escape. You were rushing forward through time, far into the future, trying desperately to flee the clutching fingers of a band of night creatures, a dreamlike horror from which there seems no escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight we escape to the year 100,080, and to a world where beauty and terror live side by side, as H.G. Wells described it in his immortal story, The Time Machine.
You must be mad, Dudley. A time machine.
Yes, my friend. A time machine.
This thing?
This very thing.
Well, this contraption, this whatever it is, made of quartz and brass and ivory, with its levers and dials and its seat in the middle. This is the result of 3 years' hard work?
I promise you, Fowler, that on this machine, a man can go wherever he likes in time. By working these levers, a man can choose his century, his year, his very day.
Oh, that's impossible. It's out of the question.
In one of the journeys I've already taken on this little contraption.
Well, I'm afraid you're having a bad dream.
You mean I've developed into a liar? Very well, you shall have proof, my friend.
Oh.
Just climb on, Fowler. Sit in the seat with me. I'll take you for a little spin.
You mean right now?
Right now.
Well, just in case it should work, aren't there any preparations we should make?
No, Fowler. You won't need any luggage on this trip, not even a toothbrush. You'll be back in less than a minute.
All right. I'm on. Now what?
Hold tight, because it sways a good deal. I'd hate to lose you.
Well, I can't be frightened, Dudley.
Then you're braver than I am. Tell me, what time is it?
It's just 12 noon.
Before we start, I want to adjust this control a bit.
Is everything shipshape?
Oh, yes. Tell me, did you notice anything just then?
Only a noise, a humming noise, nothing else.
And what time is it?
You just asked me, old man. That's funny.
What?
My watch says 11 o'clock. I could have sworn it was noon a moment ago. Must be something wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with the watch. It's only that I touched the lever to test it. And we've gone forward a full day. 23 hours at any rate.
Dudley.
Have you finished scoffing, Fowler?
Yes, I believe I have.
Then hold tight. This will be the real article.
I'm ready, Dudley.
Good man. Well, say goodbye, Fowler. Say goodbye to 1948.
We went off with a shattering jar, with machines swaying under us. The walls of Dr. Dudley's laboratory suddenly fell away, and night was speeding after day like the flapping of a black wing. I saw the sun hopping across the sky, leaping swiftly across it every second, and every second marking a day. I saw the moon spinning through her quarters like a ball, from new to full, all in the twinkling of an eye. Trees grew and blossomed like puffs of smoke and then passed away, and all the while we were going faster. And now our pace was a year a second, so that second by second the white snow flashed across the world and was followed by the bright, brief spring. And still we went on into the future.
How do you feel, Fowler?
Sort of weak and very dizzy.
Don't let go. Don't fall off.
Where are we? How far have we come?
We're in 100,000 and 50 and 60 and 70.
That's enough. Stop it, Dudley. I can't stand anymore. Stop it.
Fowler, are you all right?
I believe so. No broken bones. What happened?
I'm not sure. I must have stopped too suddenly.
Where are we, Dudley?
Look around for yourself. On a wide lawn, in a beautiful, vast garden.
I meant geographically.
Just where we were when we started. We're standing exactly on the spot where my laboratory stood 100,000 years ago.
And the year?
100,080.
Seemed absolutely incredible. A dream, but a pleasant one. For the garden in which we found ourselves was beautiful and summery and inviting. At some distance we could see a large, imposing building. All was quiet and peaceful, almost too much so. And a sense of strangeness, of incredible strangeness, sent a shiver up my spine.
100,080.
Dudley, have you thought what we might find here, what manner of man? What danger?
I don't see any men at all.
Well, perhaps they don't exist at all anymore. Or if they do, what are they like? How have they developed?
It's been a long interval between us, more than 100,000 years. We won't know until we see them.
And then it may be too late. Suppose the race has lost its manliness and has become a savage animal.
Do you want to go back?
Yes, Dudley, I'm frightened. Let's go back. Dudley!
From over there in the bushes.
Sounded human.
Come on.
But Dudley, we don't have any weapons.
Come on!
Oh, it's a child. Look, it seems to be a very small girl.
There's been a beast here of some kind. It struggled with her. Look at the marks on her arms.
See here, my dear. You'll be all right now. You won't be harmed. Oh, of course, she wouldn't understand English.
I don't think it's that. She's motioning us to go with her. I don't believe they have any language at all, Dudley.
What about the animal? Did you see her?
No, not a glimpse. It was too fast for us.
Perhaps we'd better go back, Dudley. The girl seems to be all right now.
Leave her like this, without seeing her people and the way they live. You want to go back so soon?
Yeah, I've had enough.
Well, they haven't, old man. Because they're here. All around us.
They had crept up on soundless feet to surround us, the little people of this era. And the girl we'd saved was not a child, but a full-grown woman. For they all stood 4 feet high, dressed in simple tunics, beautiful creatures, but terribly frail, with a plump, soft kind of frailty. Their mouths were small, and their little chins ran to a point, and they made no sound. They were like eerie figures in a dream, and all we could hear was the heavy rustling of their clothes as they surged happily around us, their faces wreathed in smiles. Why, they're not savage at all. They're very loving and gentle little people.
Yes, but there's something terribly wrong with them.
How do you mean?
They seem to have the minds of 5-year-olds. This one over here isn't trying to talk to me with gestures. Look at him. He seems to be asking me if I've come from the sun or a thunderstorm.
How'd you expect him to be?
Far ahead of us, of course. Incredibly ahead of us in knowledge and in science. And look at them. Children.
Oh, they seem happy in this huge garden of theirs. That's something. I've changed my mind, Dudley. Maybe we shall enjoy spending a few days with our little friends. The little people led us home into their valley. They lived in colossal buildings, sleeping all together in one huge hall, eating in another, playing and frolicking together in the sunshine, and Dudley and I lived with them for days in utter contentment. One afternoon, we walked together along the banks of the great river.
There's no apparent difference among the sexes. They all wear the same clothes, have the same soft, hairless skin, same feminine roundness of limb.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because they're vegetarians.
They're vegetarians because they have to be. You haven't run across any horses or dogs or cattle of any kind, have you?
No, now that you mention it.
With good reason. They're all extinct by now. Just as the dinosaur is with us.
Dudley, there's something very strange here. Something hidden away and silent.
You may be right. Anyway, I've taken the precaution of removing the controls from the machine. I don't much fancy the idea of someone riding away with it into another century and leaving us here for the rest of our lives.
Dudley, do you recognize this bit of ground?
Why, yes, this is where we landed.
I thought so. I wasn't sure.
Why do you ask?
Can't you see? Look around. It's empty. What's happened to the machine?
They've taken it away. They stole it.
Where, Dudley?
Where? Look. See the tracks where they've dragged it? Over here. Come along. Right here. By this monument, the end of the trail.
Those are brass doors in the base, and they're locked.
The machine, it must be in there inside. We must get it straight down the door.
How? How can we?
Here, we use the levers.
It's no good, Dudley. They're solid. We'll never break through.
Never? Never? Do you mean stay here for all our lives? Do you mean never go home again? They must open the machine, the time machine.
The time machine was gone. The brass doors of the monument held. Our retreat was cut off, a thin line by which we could make our way back home. back to our own time and our own people. But there seemed nothing we could do. We had no way of communicating with the little people, of asking what they had done with the machine and why and how to get it back. They merely stood around and watched our vain efforts. There was nothing hostile in their attitude. They were more like simple, wondering children. Only one, the young woman, Weena, whose life we had saved on our first day, had become really friendly. She went with us wherever we walked and brought us presents of garlands of flowers, slept near us at night in the hall, and we in turn had taught her a few words of English. Now, we redoubled our efforts, like men racing against a clock, so that we might speak to her and discover the secret of our immense loss.
No, not these, Dudley. No.
How can you be so sure that your people didn't steal the machine? Aren't there any thieves among them? Are they all perfect?
That's a lot, Dudley. You'll waken them. Besides, she doesn't understand.
But the thief must be sleeping somewhere in this hall. Weena, they take machine.
No, Dudley. No.
Who then? Who?
We are friends.
Yes, friends.
We must have machine.
Yes, Dudley. Yes.
Who took machine? Are there other people? Not yours.
Others?
What about those doors, Weena? Doors. Open.
No. Oh, no.
Weena, machine in there must open.
No, not open.
All right, my dear. Go to sleep. Get some rest.
Yes, Dudley. Sleep.
You too, fella. Try anyway.
Yeah, I've tried. It's no good.
What's to become of us, fella? Are we caught here in this century? Should we spend our lives with the little people and their secret?
Try to sleep, Dudley. We'll go back to the monument tomorrow. We'll find a way of breaking in. Dudley.
Yes?
Did you just... There it is again. What? Something on my face. Cold and frozen with the touch. On my face and in my hair. Cold as death. Dudley!
You're right, my boy. There's something in here with us.
I smell the grave. What was it?
I don't know. But look at them. The little people are all awake. It's as though they've been stampeded.
Let's get out of here. I want some fresh air. We went quickly through the hall, outside, away from the frantic rustling of the little people and into silence. The moon was full just overhead, and it was close to dawning. There was a faint sound speeding close behind us, and we turned, our nerves ragged and our muscles tensed. But it was only Weena coming swiftly to join us.
Weena, come closer, my girl.
Dudley.
Tell us, what do your people fear? What makes them afraid?
Afraid? Darkness.
And there is something.
What do you mean, darkness?
Dark things. Dark places. Night.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
Why should they be afraid of the night, Dudley?
Perhaps it's not the night alone. Dark places. That's our cue. Perhaps it's something underground.
By now it was light, another day. We had wandered into a lovely wooded place, about a mile from the community. Suddenly, Weena screamed. We stopped short. A pair of glaring eyes was fixed upon us. As we stood there petrified, the thing, a little ape-like figure, rushed across our path and disappeared in a clearing about 30 yards away. What was it?
I couldn't see it too well. It seemed to be dull white, with white hair on its head and down its back.
Looked like a small ape.
That's because it was running on all fours, with its arms held very low.
Weena, what's the matter?
Morlocks. They are Morlocks.
Who are the Morlocks? What are they? Weena, tell me.
No, Billy.
Let's go over there and see where it disappeared.
In the clearing, we found a round, well-like opening. I leaned over and looked down a deep shaft, and as I did so, I saw a small white creature retreating down a ladder in the well. Something like a human spider. Its large, bright eyes watching me as it went swiftly down, and then it disappeared in the shaft.
Paula, did you see it? Like an ape?
Yeah, but like a man.
So there are two species of men in this world. Hey, fella.
Yes?
The little people above the ground, and this obscene thing, this bleached monster below. Two races of men in this country.
That white look. It's common to animals that live in the dark, like huge rats, like worms that are cold to the touch. I know because they've touched me.
You can feel air being sucked down into the shaft.
Yes.
The earth must be tunneled enormously here under our feet. And these monsters live in the tunnels.
I think we know now who stole our time machine.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Then
we'll go down and have a look.
No, don't go.
Why not, Weena?
Morlocks, you never come back.
We've got to have our machine, my dear. You wait for us here.
No.
But we went down, our heels ringing on the small metallic bars that were meant for creatures so much smaller than we. Down we climbed, down, ever in darkness. Down, it seemed, into the center of the earth, to the core of the world. How much longer?
We won't know till we reach bottom.
We can only stop and rest.
It can't be much further.
I'm so terribly tired.
Hang on, old man. You hear that? Like machinery. We're almost there.
Oh, thank heaven for that.
All right, Fowler. I'm at the bottom. Come along, just a few more steps. Give me your hand, Fowler. Good. We're here.
In the land of the Morlocks.
You have a match?
Yeah. Here.
There seems to be a large vaulted cavern at the end of the passage.
What do you suppose they'll do if they catch us?
I've no idea, so we'd better take care not to get caught. Another match.
That throbbing noise.
It's probably the ventilating system pumping air down. There must be thousands upon thousands of these Morlocks living under the earth.
And we haven't seen any yet, except for our friend who came down ahead of us. Why do you suppose they wanted our time machine?
I think they wanted us, Dudley, not the machine.
And we've come to them.
We must. It's our only chance. Fowler! If that noise does come from air pumps, why is it so stuffy here? So oppressive?
Dudley, that smell.
Blood. Light another match.
Dudley, look! Straight ahead on the white metal table.
It's set for a meal.
Yes, with a big chunk of bloody meat.
And we know that cattle are extinct.
What do they feed on, these Morlocks?
Don't you know?
I guess I do.
Another match.
All right, Dudley? I haven't got any more. We've used our last match.
All right, we'll have to go back there then. We know the secret now, anyway. The Morlocks living here underground are the masters of this age. And our friends up above, fatted cattle, fed by the Morlocks, clothed and supplied and housed until the day when they're cut out from the herd and brought underground as food. This is the future you're looking at. This is what we men of the 20th century shall come to.
Dudley, what is it? I felt hands, cold hands. Take one of these levers. Use it as a weapon. Lash out. Against the wall. Fowler, here beside me. Dudley, what do we do? Fight them. Can't use your evil man like this. Dudley, they're all around us. This way, Fowler. This way. Back this way. We went back in that evil darkness, fighting every step as we went. Back to those projecting bars, kicking and clawing ourselves loose from their pallid, grasping hands and climbing up again toward daylight and freedom, away from their stench and the eagerness of their icy hands. And they didn't follow, for daylight was their enemy and their great fear.
And we lived among the lush gardens of the gentle little people like prisoners, like men without reprieve, like men who are dead, while they still walk the earth. For the time machine was locked away behind great brass doors, and we knew we could never force them open. Then, one day, Weena told us of an old building, an ancient, staggering structure that had survived through many ages and was filled with many curious objects.
A museum. That's what it must be, a museum, Val. Perhaps from some earlier time.
Oh, I'm in no mood to go looking at a museum.
But don't you see? Specimens are hermetically sealed in museums. Perhaps there are things, weapons, machinery, something we could use.
Oh, sure. If we could find some dynamite or gunpowder or something.
We could blast those doors. We could get in.
Where is this place, Weena? This old building that no one ever goes near.
I take you, Fowler. It's not far.
A chance, old man. A slim chance, but a chance nonetheless.
All day we wandered through the great ruined halls. The building had been deserted and in disuse for perhaps a century. The childlike men of that time had long since ceased to care about anything but their own personal comforts. It was late afternoon and growing dark when we came upon the chemical section. We'd found nothing useful to us until then. And now came the worst disappointment of all.
And it's dust. All of it. It's been dust for centuries.
Another dead end. It's hopeless.
We were out of our heads to hope that nitrates would retain their form for 100,000 years.
We better go if nothing here.
Wait just a moment. There's something in this case.
You can break it with your lever.
Stand back a little. Hallelujah. A box of matches, hermetically sealed.
It's perfect. Not even damp.
And what should we do with them? Burn down those brass doors?
Oh, better keep them anyway. At least we can smoke again. And you can't tell.
Fowler.
Yeah?
On the floor. See them? Small, narrow footprints leading away into the darkness at the end of the gallery.
Dudley.
We'd better go.
Pick Ween up and carry her. We'll have to run for it.
Don't be frightened, my dear. It'll be all right.
Go on, run!
We came out of the gloom of that place into the deeper gloom of dust. Suddenly we saw we were trapped. All around us were the Morlocks. They were the thousand, surrounding us and coming closer, a long, even line of deathly white, their eyes blinking in the half-light, and their tiny mouths alive with appetite. The matches, Dudley. Light a fire. Here, the forest is dry.
Good. We'll have an inferno here in a minute. And our little friends don't like light or heat.
The fire leaped high to the heavens, and the countryside was ablaze. The Morlocks turned in fear, blinded by the glare. Some of them burned into the middle of the raging flames, and the rest faded away like a fog. Dudley had left a narrow passageway for our retreat, and we fled down a long corridor of leaping flames and blistering heat. We fled to safety. We fled back toward the community of the little people. And as we ran, we passed the huge monument with its great bronze doors that were locked tight on our time machine. And suddenly, in the glare of the distant fires, we saw something that stopped us short.
They're open. Fowler, the doors are open.
No, not go in, Dudley, no.
It's a trap. They're ready for us inside.
Ready or not, we're going in.
Dudley, it's suicide.
It'll take me about 1 minute to screw the levers in again. Then I touch them and we're away.
All right. I'll try to give you your 1 minute.
Good boy.
No, go, not leave me.
You, my dear, you hold tight around my neck. You're coming home with us.
All right, let's go. We're in. Look! The machine, they haven't found it.
I don't see them.
Yet. Come on, quickly. Give me that other lever.
The doors, Dudley, they're closed.
Get in the seat. I'll be ready in a minute.
I waited for the hum that would signal our departure, and there in the darkness, the Morlocks were finally upon us. Cold, persistent fingers swarmed over my body, tugging at me, sucking me away from the machine, but I held tight to Weena as a man holds fast to life, and tried to kick them away with my feet. Hurry, Dudley! Hurry!
can't seem to get these levers crank over done. Just another turn, and it's... There, pal. We're away. They're gone.
Oh, we made it.
You all right?
I'm all right.
Good. And Weena?
Weena isn't with us.
What happened?
They tore her from my hands. At the last minute, they got her.
I tried to save her. I couldn't.
I know, old man. I still got a piece of her tunic here in my fist. A little piece of her tunic, Dudley. But nothing else. And so we came home again. Back into the very minute from which we had left. Back into 12 noon, May 9th, 1948. We were in Dudley's laboratory again, motionless, sitting on the ridiculous contraption which he called a time machine. Was it all a dream? A mad and feverish dream? Did any of it happen? Could any of it happen? No, of course not. How stupid. But then, what's this? What of this jagged piece of thick green silk I hold in my hand? What does that mean?
Escape, produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, tonight brought you The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, adapted for radio by Irving Ravitch, with Eric Rolfe as Fowler, Jeff Corey as Dudley, and Kay Brinker as Weena. The musical score was conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week.
You are wandering in a vast white solitude, torn by the icy blast of Arctic winds. Your strength ebbing and frozen death creeping up on you, and behind you a man with a gun from whom there is no escape.
Next week, we escape with another great story of high adventure by one of the world's best-known authors. Good night, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are in their spacesuits examining some mining equipment on a small planetoid.
From the looks of things, old Captain Haggart doesn't intend to abandon these diggings.
Well, we warned them. If we left this machinery and explosives here, they'll have to be destroyed.
Commander, it's our ship.
Haggart must have sneaked aboard.
What does he think that'll get him? All we have to do is space phone Saturn.
Hap, listen.
What's that, sir?
Sounds like a warning pulsation from a detonator control.
Wow, where's it coming from?
Right from that stack of explosives. Hackett's trying to blow us up.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Captain Hackett's Planetoid.
Rockets away, Captain. Here it comes.
smoking rockets. This pocket-sized cosmic rocket launcher sure is terrific. A rocket with a miniature snap-on scout car. Real neat. No wonder everybody wants one.
Right, Hap. With Space Patrollers, wait till you try out your own swell cosmic rocket launcher. Lots of fun, plenty of action.
Just press the trigger and whoom, watch it zoom down that nylon cord. Wham, hit the target and bang, down goes the scout car.
Right, you guide it yourself from the trigger of its stainless steel launching gun. It travels down 33 feet of special nylon cords.
Send it on long trips or short hops. Launch it solo or with one of your pals.
Launch it over and over and over. The rocket and its snap-on double-deck scout car are specially constructed of slick, durable plastic.
Weatherproof and shatterproof plastic in keen-looking colors, red and yellow. Okay, Captain, tell the Space Patrollers how they can get a cosmic rocket launcher. Go ahead, that's an order.
Yes, sir. Just send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, or send the special premium panel from the side of a Nestle's Quick Can, or the lid, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time.
Rockets away, Space Patrollers. Send for yours today.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, Captain Hackett's Planetoid. The Space Patrol, under the direction of Commander Corey, continues the unrelenting search for Prince Baccarati. For the time being, however, the evil prince seems to have suspended his criminal operations. Right now, on Saturn's sixth moon, the Space Miners Outfitting and Supply Company is having its own special problem, for Captain Hackett is in camp. It is the bad fortune of Wilbert Jenkins, assistant manager, to be on duty alone in the supply center as the old Space Miner storms in.
There's my list, Jenkins, all itemized. How soon can you fill that order and get supplies to my ship?
I'm very sorry, Captain Hackett, but we simply can't extend any more credit.
Jenkins, you're an idiot. What would you say if I told you I'll be back in 90 days with 100,000 credits worth of molybdenum?
Molybdenum?
No, it's all right. I can write everything over the satellite. Listen, I've located some wolframite with a high content of molybdenum. In a few months, I can make enough to retire. All right, that's the story. Now get busy and fill this list.
I'm very sorry, Captain Hackett. It's a matter of policy. No more credit.
All right, Jenkins. You'll be sorry. Give me my list.
As Captain Hackett angrily strides out of the Space Miners Supply House, two men follow him at a discreet distance. At the spaceport, the miner prompts toward a battered spaceship with the two men strolling after him.
What if he recognized me? We've been on Saturn number 6 for 3 days, and no one has recognized me. Don't worry. No one is going to suspect Prince Baccarati of loitering around a remote mining supply center. Just let me do the talking.
Yes, Mr. Borzak.
Excuse me. You're Captain Hackett, aren't you?
That's right. What about it?
I'm Paul Borzak, and this is my partner, John Fairclough. We're in the investment business on Jupiter. Perhaps you heard of me?
Borzak, huh? Nope, never did.
I couldn't help overhearing. I thought perhaps you and I might work out something together.
What do you mean by that?
Just this. If you're sure you can bring back a payload, I might finance you, state you to supplies and equipment.
And for what percentage of the profits?
What do you expect to make on your first payment?
100,000, maybe.
Would you give me a quarter of that?
That's fair enough, Mr. Borzak.
How much will you need to outfit your ship and settle your account with the supply company?
Altogether, 4,500 credits.
All right. Captain, here are 5 1,000 credit notes. Go back to the center and get what you need.
Okay, Mr. Borzak. Wait till Jenkins sees this.
Oh, just a minute, Captain. I'd prefer that no one else knew that I am backing you.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Every dead bee on the sixth moon will be after you for a handout. Now, don't worry, Mr. Borzak. I'm good at keeping secrets. You have to be in this business.
Yeah, Hanny. What next?
When he blasts off, we'll trail him in another ship. We'll find out where he gets that wolfenite ore. An accident will happen to Captain Hackett, and I'll have his secret all to myself.
Far off the regular space lanes, the Terra 5 roars along in a sweeping vector over the Saturn orbit. Buzz and Happy intently watch the viewscope screens as the scanning beams probe the blackness that surrounds them.
I think I've got it, sir. Yep, it's an asteroid, and a big one.
Check the space coordinates, Hap.
Yes, sir.
The baby we're after will give a close inspection. Might even be worth sending some lab ships out to make tests.
Yes, sir, but why bother to make tests if it's going to be blown up?
The experts might be able to tell where it originally came from. Some of the Neptune astronomers think it might not be a part of our solar system. Maybe a wanderer from another system.
Well, it got caught in the gravity field of our sun.
Yes. If it was thrown off by another system, our scientists want to sample it.
Whatever force kicked that planetoid in our direction sure must have given it a terrific wallop.
Hap, look at the screen.
But the ship is landing on that asteroid. Maybe the lab ship is ahead of us.
No, it's not a lab ship, Hap. It's like a small cargo ship.
Well, what's a cargo ship landing there for? Must be a tramp ship in trouble.
I'll increase our velocity, Hap. We'll try to contact them by spacephone.
Repeated calls by Happy failed to bring any response from the ship landed on the tiny planetoid. Moments later, the Terra 5 settles down on the mysterious mass of metal and rock close to the small cargo ship.
Commander, look. Somebody's coming toward us.
Well, I might have known it.
What do you mean, sir?
I recognize that ship now. It belongs to Captain Hackett. He's been prospecting for years in the asteroid belt. If anybody would find this offbeat chunk of rock, Captain Hackett would be the man.
Oh, a space miner.
They're on the space front.
Yes, sir.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 calling Captain Hackett. Do you read me, Captain?
Yes, Commander, I read you.
I tried to contact your ship. Having trouble?
Until you landed. Can't a man work his digging without the space patrol barging in? What's wrong now?
Better come aboard, Captain, and I'll explain. Corey out.
It doesn't sound as though he likes you. Or the space patrol either.
That's his general attitude toward everybody, huh?
Well, there's the warning light, sir. He's in the airlock.
Open the inner hand.
Yes.
Well, welcome aboard, Captain. Captain Hackett, this is Cadet Happy.
How do you do, Captain?
I asked what you're doing in this planetoid, Captain?
Doing a little prospecting. And I got a right to. This is my planetoid by right of discovery. Already filed my claim. The papers are in my ship. Now, anything wrong with that?
No, nothing's wrong. But it might be dangerous to stay here.
What do you mean, dangerous?
Captain, I'm sorry, but this planetoid is going to be blown up with a cosmic bomb.
Blown up? What for?
Because of its eccentric orbit. In a few days, it'll cross the orbits of the inner planets.
So what? It won't be a menace to space travel?
That's where we disagree, Captain. It'll pass close to the sun. A tremendous gravity pull will hurl it into a new orbit. It's an unstable orbit. It'll be a menace to artificial satellites circling Mercury, Earth, Terra, and Venus. No telling how much damage it'll do before it finally spirals into the sun.
I won't have it. This is the biggest strike ever made in my life. Now you say you're going to blast it with that cosmic bomb.
Strike? What kind of a strike?
Wolfenite. Richest ore I ever saw. There's millions of credits worth of molybdenum right under this ship.
Captain, listen to me. I'll have a lab ship come here and make some tests. If there is valuable ore here, you can put in a claim to the government for a reasonable amount.
Reasonable amount? Well, 50 million credits would be a reasonable amount.
Captain, with your present equipment, could you get 50 million credits worth of ore out of here before the planetoid crashes into the sun, say in 10 days?
Why, no, of course not.
So whether we bomb the planetoid or not, it'll be destroyed. Keep that in mind. So you'll get a fair indemnity if you cooperate.
Well, let's just put it that way.
There's a lab ship on Saturn moon number 6. I can have it out here for tests in a few hours.
Saturn 6? Well, that's... I was thinking maybe I could file my claim on Saturn 6.
Fine. Now, for your own safety, Captain, I suggest you stay clear of this planetoid until you hear from me. I'll stop off at Saturn 6 and make arrangements for the ore tests.
Later, in a small room at a small space hotel on Saturn 6, Captain Hackett explains this recent turn of events to his backer, the man he knows as Mr. Borzak, but who actually is Prince Baccarati. Baccarati's accomplice, John Feldkamp, squirms uncomfortably at the news. Baccarati, alias Borzak, seems unperturbed.
Captain, didn't it occur to you that you are being taken advantage of? Cheated?
Huh? What do you mean?
How do you know this planetoid goes tidal into the sun and be destroyed?
Why, Commander Corey said so.
Of course. Now, suppose the government pays you a few thousand credits and then proceeds to mine the minerals itself. And suppose the Planetoid doesn't strike this time. You will have given away a fortune.
Father, Corey always impressed me as being honest.
Every man has his prize, Captain. And in this case, millions are involved.
Now, wait. Corey didn't know there was anything valuable there.
Are you sure he didn't? Anyway, isn't that strange that Corey was suddenly so anxious to have you file for damages?
Yeah. He wants you out of the way. Cheap and late. Well, I don't know.
Captain Hackett, where is your famous shrewdness, your knowledge of man? Why, I heard that nobody could put anything over the intelligent Captain Hackett.
Nobody's going to put anything over on me, especially the Space Patrol. I'll fix them. I won't sign anything. And what's more, I'll take care of Corey. See you later, gentlemen.
Oh, wow. Captain's really mad. Yeah, but how's that going to help us? We know Corey wouldn't lie. Space Patrol really will blow up that Planetoid.
Of course. We'll lose out on a valuable ore. But we'll soon be rid of Corey.
I don't get it yet.
Captain Hackett is furious. He'll go all over the supply center making threats against Commander Corey.
Yeah, but he won't carry him out. He's just a big bag of wind.
Yes. But suppose something does happen to Corey, who do you think will be blamed?
Your Highness, you're a genius.
Near the spaceport on Saturn VI is a small building reserved for Space Patrol personnel. After arranging for a lab ship test of Captain Hackett's Planetoid, Buzz and Happy say goodnight in the corridor, and Buzz goes to his room. As he turns on the light, a man wearing the mask points a paralyzer ray gun at him.
Hold it, Corey. Hold it, Corey. I warned you. Now watch this closely, Commander. There's nothing you can do except look. You know what this is? The gas cylinder. Full of tetramethanite gas under pressure. Used in mining operation, and it's poison. You didn't know that before. You will in a moment. Put the cylinder on the floor. Excuse me. This gas works fast. Goodbye, Commander.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
Wow, Captain Two-Fell. Our cosmic rocket launcher sure went traveling that time.
Yes, sir. Space Patroller used all 33 feet of launching cord. Hey, let's make this trip a short one, okay?
Okay. All set? Here goes. You see, Captain? A direct hit.
Yes, a direct hit every time, Space Patroller. Hey, do you want to launch it solo for a while?
You bet.
Gang, you can have the same kind of neat fun my pal and I are having right now with a cosmic rocket launcher like ours. Now, the rocket is 6 inches long with a snap-on double-deck scout car, specially constructed of shatterproof red and yellow plastic. You rig it on a break-proof nylon cord, and you get 33 feet of it for long trips or short hops. You launch it by pressing the trigger on a stainless steel launching gun. Down that cord it whizzes with lightning-fast speed, hits its target, and automatically releases the scout car. And say, there's a secret place in the scout car for secret messages.
Space Patroller, here's the message I've got in my scout core for all of you from Commander Corey. Feed it to him, Captain Two-Fell.
To get a super keen cosmic rocket launcher of your own, just send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, or send the special premium panel from the side of a Nestle's Quick Can, or the lid, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, Captain Hackett's Planetoid. Prince Baccarati has contrived a way to dispose of Commander Corey, so that blame will be placed on Captain Hackett. Baccarati's accomplice, John Feldkamp, rendered Commander Corey helpless with the paralyzer ray gun, then opened the valve of the container of poisonous gas used in mining operations. Unaware of the peril Buzz is in, Happy sits on his bunk in his room down the hall, reading a microfilm book. Suddenly, he cuts off the projector and walks down the hall to the commander's door.
Smoking rockets. Commander, what happened?
Gas. It's poison.
Here, I'll shut it off. I better get you out in the hall. A paralyzer ray, huh?
Yes.
Oh.
That's better. You got here just in time, Happy.
I forgot what time you wanted me to report in the morning. I just came down to find out.
Well, there's one time I'm grateful for your lapse of memory.
Same here. Who did it?
I couldn't tell. He was wearing mining clothes. He wore a mask. You can look over now. Hope I can stand up now.
Yes, sir. What kind of gas was that?
Peppermethanate. Miners use it to test for certain minerals. The gas in there is partly dissipated by now. If we get the cylinder out of the room, we'll take it over to the supply center and see if we can trace the serial number.
Yes, Commander. That cylinder was bought here at this store. Here's the card. You see, here's the serial number, the date of purchase, and the name of the purchaser.
Fine. Who bought the cylinder?
Oh, Captain Haggart.
Captain Haggart?
Well, Haggart seems to be getting careless with his supplies. Well, come on, Happy. Let's get back to our quarters. Thanks, Mr. Jenkins.
Any time, Commander.
Commander, Haggart must be crazy to do what he did.
It wasn't Haggart, Happy. Sure, I'd recognized Hackett's voice.
But, Commander, when we last saw Haggart, you and he were almost pals. Why did he change?
Let's ask Haggart. He's probably headed for his planetoid.
Sir, the ship's not ready. The maintenance crew will be working on it for another 3 hours.
We'll check out the small lunar job.
How come you told me you finished Corey, and now you tell me he's alive?
Look, I don't know what happened, Your Highness. Something went wrong. Corey and the cadet went into the store a while ago carrying the gasoline.
Confound it. I'll bet that cadet rescued him. Where's that old fool, Captain Haggart?
I think he's blasted off for his planetoid.
We've got to get him before Corey has a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, but Haggart doesn't know. He tried to do away with Corey.
Of course not. But suppose Corey looks us up to check Hackett's story.
He'll recognize you.
Exactly.
Oh, he's still on Moon 6. Crew's working on his ship at the port.
Come on. We'll get to the spaceport. We've got to make sure Corey never finds Haggart alive.
There you are, Your Highness. That's Hackett's planetoid.
Are you sure that's the one?
Yeah, of course. I told you I located it when I trailed Haggart the other day. Well, what's our procedure? Land, take him aboard, and then dispose of him later?
No. The Space Patrol would find his ship and wonder what became of him. We'll finish him right there on the planetoid.
That's worse. They'll know what happened to him then.
We'll make it look like an accident. Haggart must have explosives in his ship or around his diggings. Everyone on Saturn VI knows he's wiped out, angry. How natural to assume the captain got careless.
Now you're talking. That'll solve everything.
Say, Commander, suppose Haggart isn't just a hot-headed guy who popped off. Suppose that fellow in the mask was a pal of Hackett's.
It's a possibility, Hap. You'll soon know.
Elsewhere, Prince Baccarati's space cruiser lands on Hackett's planetoid near the miner's cargo ship. After a brief spaceophone conversation, Captain Haggart enters the airlock, opens his helmet facepiece, and glares at the men in the ship.
How did you find this planetoid, Borzak?
You can't expect to keep this secret indefinitely, Captain. After all, the Space Patrol knows about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Why did you come here?
I've made up my mind to work my claim until I'm forced off. I'll make an issue of it. You men back me, so it's only fair warning. In case you don't want to get involved with the Space Patrol.
You can work this claim by yourself?
Sure, I got machinery and explosives. It works.
Oh, you plan to use explosives, eh?
I'll probably have to. I've got electronic detonators, Mr. Borzak. I can set them on the charge, walk away a few hundred yards, press a switch, and boom.
Very interesting. I'd like to see this equipment.
Well, the portable control mechanism's in the ship. But the rest of the stuff's down there in that crater-like depression where all the heavy equipment is.
Your Highness, look at the view scope.
Ship. It's coming right toward us.
Now let them come. I'm staying right here. Say, wait a minute. Feldkamp, what did you call him? Your Highness?
Why,
Yes, Captain. You did call me by my rightful title. I'm Prince Baccarati.
Baccarati? Crook. I thought your face looked familiar. Wait a minute. You were lying about Corey.
Yes, Captain. But it's too late to do anything about it. Get him, Captain. Use your ray gun.
You'd better blast off quick, Your Highness.
Wait a minute. We still have time to carry out our plan. Falcon, close Hackett's space helmet and carry him down into the crater, below the mining equipment.
Okay.
Then get the detonator control out of Hackett's ship. You can hide behind those rocks over there. Then I'll blast off.
Now, wait a minute. You mean you're leaving me here?
Just for a short time. If that ship lands and someone gets out to investigate, you blow out the explosive. Then I'll come back and get you.
How can I be sure?
Well, even if I don't, you still have Hackett's ship for a getaway, or even the ship that's now on its way.
I still don't like it. I've taken all the risks.
That's the way it's going to be. Now, get Hackett out of here. I want to blast off before that other ship sees me.
By the time Commander Corey lands the small lunar ship on the Planetoid, Prince Baccarati's cruiser is a tiny speck, almost invisible, in the black voided space. When Hackett fails to answer their spaceophone call, Buzz and Happy get out of their ship and in their spacesuits make their way across the rough, rocky surface toward the stacks of supplies and mining equipment.
Just like Hackett to hide out. Maybe he's down the crater setting up drilling equipment.
Commander, it's our ship. Somebody sneaked aboard it and blasted off.
Captain Hackett.
What does he think that'll get? All we have to do is spaceophone Saturn and... Hey, we can take off after him in his own ship. It'd be faster anyway.
Pat, listen.
What's that, sir?
Sounds like a warning pulsation from a detonator control.
Detonator control? Where's it coming from?
Right from that stack of explosives. Hackett's trying to blow us up.
By remote control? From our ship?
Yes, he must have had a portable rig.
He would better get out of this crater.
You'll never make it. Pat, stay here. I'm going to try to reach that detonator.
What?
On top of the explosives. I can break that control circuit.
Did you locate the switch?
I hope this is the right one. Keep down.
Commander, the signal stopped.
If nothing happens in 5 seconds, we're safe.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, might as well get up. We made it.
Yes. Ain't to know by how many millions of a second. Well, you're taking this calmly.
Well, I figured you knew what you were doing. Now... Hey, Commander, look. Somebody at the bottom of the crater.
Come on, Hap.
Sir, if that was Hackett that blasted off in our ship, well, then who's this?
I think I recognize that spacesuit, Hap. This is Captain Hackett.
It is? Well, then who tried to blow us up? Who blasted off in our ship?
Somebody who wanted us and Captain Hackett out of the way.
Hellcat calling Fritz Baccarati. Hellcat calling Fritz Baccarati. Hold up, you're a spaceophone, you fool. I'm coming back. But something went wrong. There wasn't an explosion. Corey's still alive. Baccarati, you hear me? I'm in one of those slow lunar-type ships. Come back. Pick me up aboard your ship. Your Highness, come back. I have no time for bunglers. Baccarati, Fritz Baccarati. Your Highness, help me.
Hackett may still be alive. We'll get him aboard his ship and blast off after that lunar job.
How do you feel now, Captain?
All right, Commander. Why, we're aboard my ship.
That's right.
Commander, I owe you an apology. I was a fool.
Commander, there's a lunar-type ship. We're gaining fast.
It's Feldkamp.
Feldkamp? That's Baccarati's partner. They lied to me, Commander.
I know.
Watch out for Baccarati. He's a slick one.
Unfortunately, Baccarati isn't in that ship. Just got Feldkamp to deal with. Turn the spaceophone here. Commander Corey, to Feldkamp aboard lunar-type ship S687. Corey to Feldkamp. We've got you in our view scope, and we're gaining on you fast. What's your decision? I'm waiting, Feldkamp.
Feldkamp, Commander Corey. I've given up. I cut off all rockets.
What about Baccarati? Where's he headed?
I don't know. That's the truth. If I knew, I'd tell you. You double-crossed me.
Stand by to board this ship, Feldkamp. Corey out.
Commander, I owe you and the Cadet plenty. You saved me from Baccarati and his pal. All along, you were trying to help me. I went around saying those lies about you.
Forget it, Captain. You were deceived, that's all.
Sure, and you were worried about losing that Planetoid.
That's right. Something that important would upset anybody.
Oh, well, maybe it's all for the best. I used to envy fellows that struck it rich. People would point to them and say, there's so-and-so, king of uranium. Or, look, that's the king of cobalt. That's what I thought I wanted.
Yeah, but how many people can say, there goes Haggart, the king of the no, Happy, it's molybdenum. Modillum. There, you see, I told you nobody could say molybdenum. I said it!
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure, brought to you by Nestle's Quick, for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle's chocolate bars.
Hi, Space Patrollers. This is Tony Sides, and I'm telling you the new cosmic rocket launcher is sensational. Here's what you get again. A breakproof plastic rocket and scout car. 33 feet of tough nylon cord. And a stainless steel trigger. Fire it and wham! The rocket shoots to its target and automatically releases the scout car in midair. Fast? Wow! The only thing faster is the way Nestle's Quick disappears. Honest, Quick makes milk so chocolatey, so delicious. Just like Nestle's chocolate bar. You want it all the time. To make the best chocolate milk in the universe. And get that cosmic rocket launcher. Just do this. Ask your mom to buy the brown and yellow can of Nestle's Quick. Then send the premium panel from the label, or lid from the Nestle's can, or a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And hurry!
Now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy, wounded in a fight with two of Baccarati's agents, have collapsed before the open door of a huge spaceship hangar on the planet Venus.
The storm's getting worse, Commander. Crawl inside that hangar and close the door. We'll be safe. Just, I can hardly breathe. In a minute, we'll have a thick 80-ton door between us and the wind. Keep going, Hap. A few more feet. Commander, the hangar door. It's closing. Move fast, Hap. I can't. Hurry. We're right under the door. If it hits us, we're finished.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Capture of the Red Falcon. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Bela Kovacs, Norman Jelly, Ken Mayer, and Tony Sides. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for daring, exciting adventure on Space Patrol. Space Patrol was brought to you today by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. This program is broadcast for Armed Forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.